From Indianapolis, CBS Sports presents the National Football League. It's the San Diego Chargers and the Indianapolis Colts. Hi, everyone. Kevin Harlan alongside former NFL MVP Rich Gannon. Give me your headline today.
Well, Kevin, for the third straight year, the Colts are off to an 0-2 start. They are desperate for a win for San Diego. Once again, the injury bug has struck on offense at wide receiver and running back, and yet Phillip Rivers continues to put up big numbers.
Our broadcast today is coming to you in Spanish. We're available using the SAP button on your television. Mike McCoy is the head coach of the San Diego Chargers. He was the offensive coordinator in Denver. And there's a look at Chuck Pagano. His brother is the defensive coordinator for San Diego. The Chargers won the toss. They have deferred. It's short. Here comes Quan Bray, and we are underway with a nice tackle made by Denzel Perryman, who's a starting linebacker. It's an 18-yard return. Andrew Luck was sensational week one against Detroit. Not as good last week against Denver. Nonetheless, the number 2 graded quarterback coming into today in the NFL.
Yeah, Kevin, but they've got to do a better job keeping the pocket clean around Andrew Luck. We know he has excellent football aptitude. He makes quick and decisive decisions with the football. They just got to clean up the protection in front of him.
Couple rookies on that Indy offensive line today, and we'll talk about that in just 1 second with the Frank Gore handoff on 1st and 10. And then it looks like Mebane brings him down after a gain of 5 and up to the 27-yard line. Offensive line issues a concern. Luck is pressured as much as any quarterback in the league. A rookie starting at center, Ryan Kelly. And then a rookie at the right guard, Joe Haig. First NFL snaps today. Without injured wide receiver Dante Moncrief, they need T.Y. Hilton to do more. Just 1 deep catch this season so far. Not off to his typical start. 2nd down and 5. Gore remains. And Allen is the tight end. With time, and Allen makes the grab. Te'o is there. And also making the hit in the secondary for the Chargers was Dexter McCoy getting the start.
Yeah, you just look at Allen. He's going to be working right up in the middle of the field. Doing a nice job with the motion and the movement before the snap of the football. And needs to see the hole right in the middle of that San Diego secondary.
Andrew Luck last week against Denver was 21 of 40, 197 through the end. It is a 1st and 10 from the 41. Ryan holds up. On the cross, the other tight end is Jack Doyle. He was brought down in the play by Perryman. Stopping the run has been an early issue with San Diego. Brandon Mebane, the newest member of the defensive line, he and Legion help on that pass rush. As does outside linebacker Melvin Ingram. Manti Te'o leads him in tackles. The secondary has been playing very well. Verrett and Flowers have been as good a tandem as you find in the league. Dexter McCoy is starting today for the injured eye, and there's John Pagano. His defense ranked overall number 23. 2nd down and 6 from the 45. This is Gore. And a good tackle made once again by Perryman. Stanzo could not get out of the way. It's a gain of 3 up to the 47-yard line.
When you look at Gore, Kevin, I think he's really the key to it. They've got to make a commitment to running the football. He's still a talented back. He can still get it done between the tackles. But when push comes to shove, regardless of who's calling plays over the last couple years, they've deferred to Andrew Luck. At some point, you have to make a commitment to the running game.
Extra receiver here is Chester Rogers. 5 in the secondary. Also brought in their nickel linebacker, Jatavis Brown. It is 3rd down and 2. Good pocket. Good throw. This is Phillip Dorsett working on Flowers. It's a catch and run all the way to the 35 of San Diego. 18-yard gain, 1st down, Indy.
This is what you have to deal with Phillip Dorsett. The quickness, his ability to start inside reverse field and really make the cornerback, in this case Brandon Flowers, really work through the wash. He has that suddenness and that change of direction that makes him very difficult to cover in the slot.
Flowers has not given up a lot of yards. He has given up some catches. We saw the biggest gain against him so far. Good start for Luck. 1st and 10. Get a couple tight ends once again. Luck moves up nicely. Costanzo with the block, and then a late hit. Out of bounds it goes on the throw. Ingram was providing pressure. It's 2nd down.
Kevin, this is progress from Andrew Luck. I mean, I love seeing this. First of all, I love their tight end usage. But watch Luck. He'll step up in the pocket. He decides to pull it down. Now watch here right at the very end. Watch him throw the ball away and avoid the ugly hit. Something that he refused to do his first 4 seasons.
Quarterbacks hate to give up on plays, don't they, Rick?
They do, but Kevin, it's all about availability. He has taken way too many hits through his first 4 seasons.
On the most this year so far is 2nd down and 10. 7th play of the opening drive of the game. Gore. Doyle was leading the way, and on his back he finds the defensive back. Dexter McCoyle making the start today for an eye and a gain of 5.
Let's look at the scouting report. The Indianapolis Colts, obviously the quarterback play has always been a strength. You look at the offensive line play, Kevin, it's got to be better. They're young at center, rookie Kelly, and of course the right guard Haig. You look at the San Diego defense, the corner play, Verrett, Flowers, Hayward have been outstanding. Where they have to improve is their run defense. Still a bit of a weakness through the first 2 games.
Robert Turbin is the new running back. Hayward is in the secondary. 3rd down and 5 for Luck. Our referee today is Ron Torbert. Looked like Itachi may have jumped a little bit early on that San Diego side.
They got both of them. They've got both Itachi and Ingram.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 54. It's a 5-yard penalty.
Good hard count by Andrew Luck. It's really important early in games. You don't want to allow that front 7 of San Diego to get a real bead on your snap count. And good veteran quarterbacks have the ability to change up the snap count early. That helps the big men up front.
And Rich, they get a 1st down with the penalty.
This is where they've been very good in the red zone.
Gore back in 1st and 10. And this is Gore. Manuel looks like he stopped him initially at about the 3rd, make it 25-yard line, and no gain on the play. Emmanuel is a 2nd-year player out of North Dakota State. So Frank Gore, 33 years of age.
Yeah, it's amazing. He's rushed for 967 yards and 6 touchdowns in his first seasons with the Colts. Yeah, what I like about him, he runs with his pads over his toes and low to the ground. Doesn't have that straight line speed that you like anymore at the running back position, but you can't arm tackle a back like that. He'll run right through those type of tackles.
Turbin gets checked in. 2nd down and 8 to make it 2nd down and 10. Robert Turbin. He's going to carry Emmanuel with him as he slithers his way inside the 20. And he picks up 6 on the run. Robert Turbin had 12 snaps against Denver last week and a 5-yard touchdown run for the Colts.
Kevin, we talked about some of the changes with this Colts offensive line. Haig making his first start at the right guard position. You've got a rookie center, and that's an area where you know that the San Diego Chargers are going to probe and find out about early. How do these guys handle some twists and some stunts and some games? And also, how do they handle the pass rush? As you see Melvin Ingram, he's going to get some of that action. You're seeing him line up over the right side.
Hayward is in 3rd and 5. Turbin with the block. And he's going for the end zone. The coverage by Verrett. They were going for T.Y. Hill. Verrett is one of the best cornerbacks in pro football, as good as there was a season ago in the NFL.
This is going to be a great matchup all day, watching Jason Verrett match up on T.Y. Hilton. Love the conversation, Kevin, we had with John Pagano, the defensive coordinator, yesterday. He said Verrett wants the challenge each week of matching up against the best wide receiver. He said it drives him crazy if he gives up even a simple completion.
Here's Adam Vinatieri, 29 consecutive field goals made. He hasn't missed since early last year. He's had some kicks this year of 50, 48, and 52. He's made this a 38-yarder for the game's first score, and the Colts on top. There was a pass to Allen. There was a pass to Dorsett. Allen picked up 14. Dorsett picked up 18 on a catch and run. They get the 38-yard field goal, and Rich take an early 3-0 lead over the visiting Chargers.
This is what they have to do. They have to get off to some better starts, Kevin. They've been behind in a lot of games through the first 2 games of the season. Andrew Luck talked about it a lot on Friday, just in terms of finding a rhythm early offensively.
All right, get the CBS Sports app for inside access to breaking news and expert analysis of your favorite team. It has everything you need. Download the CBS Sports app today. So 11 plays, a nice drive engineered by Andrew Luck. He is a 3-time Pro Bowler, the highest paid quarterback, Rich, the highest paid quarterback in the National Football League, the 5th-year player Luck.
Yeah, he's so strong in the pocket, Kevin. You watch him, he's studying, he can throw the ball from different angles. He's a bigger quarterback who can win the game from the pocket, but is mobile and athletic enough to avoid and escape a rush. And that's what makes him, I think, so special at the quarterback position.
Greg Mager is deep back for the San Diego Chargers to retrieve the kickoff. And he's also back there with the running back, Robert Turbin. Turbin and Mager. And there is Pat McAfee, who does the kicking off and the terrific punting chores for this Colts team. This will be Turbin, who takes it at the goal line for San Diego. And works his way out to about the 24. Phylon was there. 24-yard return. Phillip Rivers, quick, accurate throws, engineering the highest scoring offense so far in the NFL.
And I really think it's a compliment to Phillip Rivers, how he's able to deal with all the injuries around him. I think you have to have a great attitude about it. He has that. He's a guy that's willing to find a way to make it work, extremely positive, and that's really helped some of the younger players that they've had to break in at wide receiver as well as at running back.
And they correct something. That was Dexter McCluster who brought it out of the end zone. They just signed him this week. 24-yard line. It's a 1st and 10 for San Diego. McCluster taking the place of the injured Danny Woodhead. Woodhead with an knee injury last week in an ACL. Rivers on 1st and 10. Melvin Gordon hit and brought down. Nice stick. Gathers there. Loss of a yard. Back to about the 22. David Perry. Let's talk about this offense. The offensive line, pass and rush blocking has been good. Matt Slauson, one of the reasons why. King Dunlap is out today with an illness, and Chris Hairston takes his place. Chargers have lost receiver Keenan Allen and running back Danny Woodhead, but the emergence of Melvin Gordon has been a boost. 100-yard rushing game last week, 102 against Jacksonville. 2nd down and 11. Out of this screen, you see Tyrell Williams. On top, Dontrell Inman. And that's where they go with a pass to the outside, caught by the tight end, Hunter Henry. He picks up 5. Gates not playing today. Let's take you to New York.
Win number 1 for Miami. Yes, it is. You're going to see in overtime, Jay Ajayi takes the 11-yard walk-off touchdown, 30-24. Miami beats Cleveland in overtime.
Back to Kevin Harlan and Rich Gannon.
Guys, thank you very much. 3rd down and 5. Benjamin in the slot. Gordon stays and back with Rivers.
Well, you really got to make sure this guy right here gets off to a good start. Chris Hairston taking the place of King Dunlap.
Good block by Gordon. On the move and dropped by Tyrell Williams. It would have been good for a 1st down. Vontae Davis was there covering. Davis is back today from injury. He's going to help that secondary. And Williams can't hold on.
Well, this is a catch you have to make, Kevin. Sometimes you get screened, you don't see it come out of the pile, but Phillip Rivers puts that in a place where Tyrell Williams has to make the catch.
Quan Bray is deep back for Drew Kazer's punt. Kazer's averaging 39 yards a punt. Quan Bray gets it at the 25-yard line. 46-yard punt. 5-3 on the hang time. So the Colts take the opening drive.
During the kick, holding number 44, the return team. That 10-yard penalty will be assessed from the end of the kick. It'll be Indianapolis's ball, 1st down.
44 is Antonio Morrison. So we had a 38-yard field goal for the Colts on their opening drive. It came from Vinatieri. 3-0 Indy. And we just saw the punt by the offense of San Diego. So 2nd possession with a look at Mike McCoy. Coming in, San Diego 1-1, losing a heartbreaker in overtime to Kansas City. And the Colts are winless so far. They lost to Detroit week 1 where Luck played well. And then they lose last week in Denver. Here's a 1st and 10. And this is Gore into the secondary. Look at him chug away. One of the top rushers in the history of the NFL, number 13, a hard-earned 12. And the tackle was made by Teo.
Well, he gets some help from Jack Doyle. He'll get the kick-out blocker. Watch Frank Gore finish this run. Watch him lower the boom on the safety. Watch him always seems to be falling forward at the end of runs. That's a good shot of watch him knock back the safety, Dwight Lowry, at the end of that run. What you love about Frank Gore.
Remarkable what he's doing at 33. The former Pro Bowler with San Francisco. It is a 1st and 10 from the Colt 27. Gore again. This tackle's on the play and finally brought down by Lowry, a former Colt. It's a 6-yard pickup and he's up to the 33. Gore had some notable inactives today. First of all, for the San Diego Chargers, a guy in the secondary out, McCoyle taking his place. Gates has got a hamstring. Bosa still has not been declared eligible by this team, and Dunlap is sick. He was injured earlier in the week with a shoulder, but battling sickness. And you take a look at the 2-time Big Ten Player of the Year at Ohio State, the 3rd overall pick, Joey Bosa. Still limited in practice, battling a hamstring. 2nd down and 3. Nice block by the rookie center. And they go to a wide open receiver downfield. And that is T.Y. Hilton. Tackle made by Teo. 24-yard pickup. Nice throw by Luck. Good protection from the line. 1st down.
Boy, T.Y. Hilton, he can create some separation in a hurry. You're just going to see he's going to be working from a tight position. You see he starts outside. He gets up on the heels of Jason Verrett and really turns him around. Verrett never feels him come out of that break. Well, that'll be a handful today for Jason Verrett.
3-time Pro Bowler Hilton. 1st down and 10. And that may have been tipped at the line. They were going for Hilton outside. Verrett was on the coverage. Incomplete pass.
Verrett's going to need some help here, Kevin. The one thing that you worry about when you line up against T.Y. Hilton is him running by you. And watch Verrett. He's going to get turned. He doesn't want to get beat deep. And watch T.Y. Hilton put his foot in the ground and create that separation. There's 5 yards between the corner and the receiver. The help on T.Y. Hilton early.
Hilton battling a knee, limited in practice this week, had 4 catches against Denver. 2nd down and 10.
Blue 90!
Good block by Costanzo, and that opens up. And Gore dropped it, and we had a player go down. So the linebacker fell at about the 35-yard line, and that is Manti Te'o. And that is not good. The leading tackler for the Chargers is down. We'll step aside. Rich, we began the broadcast talking about all the injuries for the San Diego Chargers.
This is one team, Kevin, that can't afford any more of the injuries. You just look right in the middle of your screen there. Good look at Manti Te'o. Tough to tell whether it's a knee or an ankle. I thought initially maybe it was an ankle. He's just covering the back out of the backfield, plants awkwardly, and then goes right down.
It's a 3rd and 10. Brown is coming as a linebacker. Looked like Perriman may have moved a little bit on the hard count by Luck.
It's a couple times now that Andrew Luck has caught the
neutral zone
Chargers in the neutral zone.
Number 52, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Well, the Chargers already lost 2 prominent players for the season. Week 1 at Kansas City, their terrific wide receiver Keenan Allen tore his ACL. And then the next week, last week, against Jacksonville, running back Danny Woodhead tore his ACL trying to catch a pass. They lost Stevie Johnson in preseason, so they lost 2 starting wide receivers. The terrific Woodhead. Here's a 3rd and 5 with the injury still being looked at on Manti Te'o across the way. Turbin was in the backfield. Luck Gets away. Oh, and he's got his receiver. Hits the back of the defending Jatavis Brown. They were going for the receiver, Philip Dorsett, down the sideline.
It took a while for Andrew Luck to get there, but boy, he had a great opportunity with the matchup that they wanted. The receiver on the linebacker, better throw here, probably gets it done. Not an easy throw for Andrew Luck as he's moving to his left, but clearly Dorsett had Brown beat.
As a quarterback, you lick your chops on that, don't you, when you're a good receiver, fleet-footed receiver. He's got a linebacker. Here is a 55-yard field goal try by Adam Vinatieri. He's made 30 straight. He's made 31 in a row. Flag has been thrown. That offside penalty gave him the 5 yards to get to 55 away. Let's see what this is all about. As Ron Torbert, this crew, by the way, has 7 different officials who have worked Super Bowls. So it is one of the more decorated crews in pro football. With 4:34 to play here in the first quarter. Right now there is a 55-yard field goal on the board. And it looks like this is going to be against the Chargers as well.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, leverage, defense, number 94. It's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Results in an automatic first down.
They will take points off the board, Rich. Mike McCoy saying there was not leverage used. Watch 94.
Well, I don't see it.
They may have had the number wrong as well.
Initially, I thought, Kevin, it was a situation where you had a defender leaping. That's obviously been a point of emphasis. Field goal and extra point rush tactics.
Gore in the backfield. Again, the 2 tight ends, 7th play of this Luck-led drive. Gore in the secondary for the Chargers, and here comes Luck. Nice catch by Doyle. Had the matchup with the linebacker. He's inside the 7. He picks up 15. It's 1st and goal to go, Indianapolis.
Kevin, I talked about how I admire their tight end usage. Doyle may not be the fastest tight end, but he does a lot of the little things right. He's willing to stick his nose in there and block. He's a very good route runner, and he's got better hands than you give him credit for. This is a terrific catch on the boundary.
With Fleener gone, Doyle has seen more time, certainly. He's from Indy, from Cathedral High School. 1st and goal at the 6.
Check out. Yeah. The 90.
Fake to Gore. And dropped Allen, the tight end, who had some company on the way. Looked like Jatavis Brown was very close, the rookie, with good coverage for the San Diego Chargers.
That's a terrific job by Brown because it's a very difficult route to cover. Dwayne Allen's lined up at the tight end position on the right side with Doyle to his right, another receiver, and he slides down and the action away. Terrific job by Brown recognizing the situation.
Colts have already had a couple drops in this game. We had a player that was shaken up. That was Verrett. And they will look at him on the side. That's the reason for the stoppage of play.
Kevin, they really like to feature the tight ends in this part of the field. Jack Doyle already has 3 red zone catches in the first 2 games. We just saw him throw the ball to Dwayne Allen. You see both of those players lined up at the bottom of your screen.
Hayward is in. 2nd goal at the 6. Gore! Touchdown! Frank Gore has scored his first rushing touchdown of the season.
Well, if we're going to give out a game ball already, I think it could be to our guy Jack Doyle. Watch this block on Denzel Perryman by Doyle. He gets up in the hole, he gets his helmet in the right position, and he hits him right down the middle.
Good call, Rich. the extra point by Adam Vinatieri. And it is 10-0 Indy with 3:39 to play. He's making his 79th consecutive start today. Frank Gore, 12 years in the NFL, finds 6.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. And by the all-new Honda Ridgeline for truck tough things and everyday things.
Colts have scored on their first 2 possessions today. Well, during the national anthem, several players on both sides protesting police brutality and bringing awareness to social injustice. Several players said they respected the demonstration earlier this week from the WNBA Indiana Fever team. They all took to a knee during the anthem before a game Wednesday here. All right, McAfee's going to kick off for the Indianapolis Colts. Deep back, along with McCluster, is Craig Mager. A 38-yard field goal by Vinatieri, a 6-yard touchdown run by Frank Gore, and the ensuing kickoff. Cluster, the former Tennessee Titan and Chief, to a knee. So Rivers will get it for a second time in his 25 when we come back from Indy on CBS. Your weekend starts on Thursday when the Miami Dolphins battle the Cincinnati Bengals. Thursday night football on NFL Network, 8 o'clock.
Well, there's got to be a sense of urgency from Phillip Rivers in this offense, down 10-0 here in the first quarter. Don't want to fall behind by 3 scores on the road.
Henry, the tight end, in for the injured Gates, not playing today and active. First and 10. Fake to Gordon. Rivers, who does not throw long often, is downfield with a nice catch made by Inman. Morris makes the stop. 14-yard pickup. Let's take you to New York.
Kevin, another excellent tight end in Kansas City.
Off of a Marcus Peters interception, Alex Smith hits Travis Kelce for the 12-yard touchdown. Chiefs go up 7-0. This one dances a little bit better than that old guy.
Well, I know Rich Gannon can move, but you know what? I think Kevin Harlan can move. Back to Kevin.
Who was that old guy? Do you recall that? Again, wore number 88 for the Chiefs.
Tony G.
Good to hear James and Tony back in our studios. What a day, some close games in the NFL, and all afternoon long we'll be bringing you updates. You're looking at Inman. It's like a contact. After the 14-yard pickup, it is a first and 10. Melvin Gordon. Diving in the middle. Nice tackle made right there by Langford. It is a gain of 2. He's up just beyond the 40-yard line. Well, the word initially from the San Diego sideline, Manti Te'o, an Achilles injury, and out for the rest of the afternoon. And it did not look good, did it, Rich?
No, it really did. And you hate to hear about these injuries. And Manti Te'o has been playing really well, Kevin, the leading tackler from a season ago.
It's second down and 8. Faker up block. Rivers looking on the sideline, trying to find Tyrell Williams. With coverage across the way by Clinton Gathers in the secondary.
You mentioned that secondary of the Colts. They have been really banged up. The Colts were without 3/4 of their starting secondary last week. Vontae Davis, Patrick Robinson, TJ Green were all declared out for the game in which the Colts gave up 30 points for the second straight week.
Morris is the 5th defensive back. Third down and 8. There's 0 on the play clock. I think Rivers, who's watching it, called it in time. No delay of game. First time out San Diego. We step aside.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by New York Life. With the right guidance, everyone can be good at life. And by Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
We haven't given you the lineup on the defense for the Colts, but Henry Anderson is playing today for the first time in about a year. More on him later. 3rd and 8 after the timeout. Blocked by Barksdale. Off to Gordon. He's got the first down. Forced out of bounds by T.J. Green on 3rd and 8. He picks up 10 on the fly and takes it down to the 49-yard line of Indianapolis.
We're not used to seeing a lot of Melvin Gordon on the field in these 3rd down situations. That was really Danny Woodhead's role, but he's going to do more of that and become more accomplished with the protections and the route running. But that was a terrific job there, not only catching the ball, but breaking a tackle to get the first down.
Only his 4th reception of the season, Melvin Gordon. Knee issues last year, microfracture surgery in January, and has a new lease on life. He's having a terrific start to the season. It's 2nd in the NFL. 1st and 10. Gordon again. All over the place. That time Antonio Morrison and others. Morrison is a rookie out of Florida. Brings him down. Gain of a yard to the 47-yard line of the Colts. Tonight on CBS, the agents of NCIS Los Angeles start the new season on a new night. Don't miss LL Cool J and Chris O'Donnell in NCIS Los Angeles. It's tonight after 60 minutes, only CBS. 2nd down 9. Kent Wiesnut is the new offensive coordinator for San Diego. He calls the plays. The head coach at Tennessee. 2nd down and 9. Rivers wide open in the middle. They get off to Sean McGrath, who takes it down to the 32. Adams tripped him up. Then Jackson brings him down. It's a 13-yard catch and run. The Chargers are moving.
You look on the right side of your screen, McGrath delay a little bit. He's just going to work over the football. He just unfortunately runs into the other tight end.
And Henry Anderson on that line. There's a look at Wiesnut. It's a 1st down and 10. Henry Anderson is on that line. He's been active. He blew a knee last November, tore the ACL. He might have been their best defender a season ago. 1st and 10. Rivers, and looking downfield for Dontrell Inman, a former Canadian Football League player, with the coverage by Antonio Cromartie.
I mentioned getting healthy in the secondary and getting a couple of their starters back. And Antonio Cromartie's played a lot of snaps the first 2 weeks. Getting Vontae Davis back on the other side, Kevin, should really help this secondary.
He struggled in coverage. Cromartie did. He's got rib injuries. He's got a shoulder injury. He was signed off the street back on September 9th.
Missed all of training camp.
Yes.
That's the challenge. You bring in so many different players that aren't familiar with your system.
2nd down 9. Blocked by Gordon. And they go outside. It was caught by Inman, brought down by Cromartie, and it's a gain of 11, and it's a 1st down. Spot him at the 23 of Indy. That's the end of the 1st quarter. Frank Gore, a 6-yard touchdown run for the Colts, who lead it 10-0 at the end of 1 on CBS. One quarter in the books here. We've had a Vinatieri field goal and a 6-yard touchdown run by Gore. Those through the first 15 minutes of the game. And the Colts have challenged the catch in the previous end of the 1st quarter by Dontrell Inman.
It looks like a catch to me, Kevin. Clearly he has possession there. He takes a couple steps.
Whether he had the 1st down or not is...
Indianapolis has challenged the ruling on the field on the previous play. If the runner made the line to gain, we'll review the play.
It almost looks like a gain of 9, Rich, on that 2nd and 10. Chuck Pagano has challenged this one for Indy. Chuck Pagano, the Colts head coach, is challenging the spot of this catch by San Diego receiver Dontrell Inman.
I think he's going to be a yard short. You go back and look at it. Initially, I was confused as to why they were challenging, but you look, watch the right foot. Clearly, he's at the 25-yard line. That first down marker is at the 24-yard line. I think it'll be 3rd and 1. Good look at it right here. You're right about the 25-yard line. Good challenge by Chuck Pagano.
So the San Diego team today has lost Manti Te'o to an Achilles injury. Starting left tackle King Dunlap is out with an illness. Chris Hairston taking his place. They lost Woodhead last week, a torn ACL. Lost Keenan Allen in week 1 in Kansas City at Arrowhead Stadium.
You know, sometimes you watch Phillip Rivers, Kevin, you could say, you know what, you take all 10 starters out in front of him, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, it just, he's resilient. I mean, you could throw, you know, a couple new guys in every week. It doesn't seem to bother him.
They also lost out on Brandon Oliver. He has an Achilles injury. He was going to be a 3rd down back. He was lost in preseason.
Oh, it's amazing. Stevie Johnson, Jeff Cumberland, Brandon Oliver, Keenan Allen, Danny Woodhead, no Antonio Gates today. No problem for Phillip Rivers.
The runner stepped out of bounds with the ball at the 24.5-yard line. It'll be 3rd down at the 24.5-yard line. Indianapolis will not be charged with a timeout. San Diego has elected not to run another play in the first quarter. We will start the second quarter here.
It'll be 3rd down.
And Kevin, this may even be 4-down territory. I mean, there's a chance that Mike McCoy may decide to go for it on 4th and short.
Number 1 scoring offense against the defense that has given up the most points so far through 2 weeks in the NFL. On this drive, Inman has caught passes of 14 and 11. McGrath, the tight end, a 13-yard catch and run. Gordon, the 10-yard reception. Gordon is in the backfield with a couple tight ends. It's 3rd and 1.
You got to think Melvin Gordon in this situation.
Rivers, good call, Rich, but Rivers underthrows him, and Gordon was wide open. 4th down.
You know, this is one of those throws, obviously, Phillip Rivers would love to have back, Kevin, but he's so wide open, he just tries to fit it in there, tries to throw him a softball. Look at this, he just tries to baby the throw. He knew right away he missed it short.
So they're going to try for a field goal as this pass to
You don't see
Melvin
that
Gordon.
very often from Phillip Rivers.
It's Josh Lambeau, who is 3 of 4, and his field goal will put the Chargers on the board. A 42-yard field goal try, and it is 10-3 with a new score in Indy and 9 seconds into the second quarter.
You know, you wind up losing a game, and you get on the airplane, and you start thinking about plays and what I could have done differently. And Phillip Rivers will be thinking about that throw right there. He had Melvin Gordon wide open for the first down.
But a good-looking drive nonetheless, with completions of 13, 14, 11, and 10 yards on it. With NFL Game Pass, watch the games you missed with condensed games in 45 minutes or the full broadcast version. Start a free trial today at NFL.com/Game Pass. So the defense of the Colts does their job, Rich. They hold them out of the end zone, and they get a stop and allow only 3.
They're playing better, Kevin. This is a defense that's really struggled through the first 2 weeks. We talked about the injuries that they've had, especially in the secondary. But through the first 15 minutes of the first quarter, this group has held up well on the back end.
Last week, that defense of Indy held Denver to 1 touchdown and 4 red zone chances. It was really the defense that was doing the job. The Denver defense had a pick 6 and a fumble return for a touchdown and some field goals. They did the same thing last week in Denver. Here's the ensuing kickoff. It is a chip shot. And on the move with the catch on the fly for the Colts is Jordan Todman, a one-time draft choice by San Diego. It is a 15-yard return, and the reserve running back is brought down on the play by Mager and by Williams. Another look at Andrew Luck.
They put together some nice drives, 11-play drive. It resulted in a field goal. Of course, 9 plays, 85 yards, touchdown. They've been very effective on the early downs, and part of it has been the running of Frank Gore.
He's got that touchdown on it, 6 yards already. Tavis Brown taking the place of the injured Manti Te'o. 1st and 10 for Luck. Blitz from the side, and it was picked off on the play. Casey Hayward. Hayward had 2 interceptions last week against Jacksonville and takes it down to the 12. Luck has thrown a pick. And a flag.
Well, this is a terrific play by Casey Hayward. He had 2 interceptions last week against Jacksonville. He's just sitting on this route. Phillip Rivers trying to throw this one to Chester Rogers, the rookie.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask, number 80 of Indianapolis. Half the distance to the goal from the end of the play. San Diego's ball, first down.
Hayward is playing well. A couple picks last week, as we said, against Bortles of Jacksonville. And this is the first time since 2009 that the Chargers have started the season with interceptions in their first 3 games.
I mentioned Kevin Hayward coming over in free agency from the Packers at 2 interceptions last week against Blake Bortles. Another one here today against Andrew Luck. This group of corners, Hayward, Flowers, and Verrett, playing as well as any trio in football.
It's 1st and goal to go. Luck sees something. He brings his tight end in. That is Hunter Henry. Timeout taken. And the Colts will take the timeout. Hayward last week.
Yeah, he was terrific against Blake Bortles. This was a great concentration. He gets a piece of it. And this one, I have no idea why Blake Bortles would try and fit that one in. And of course, just a moment ago, he's going to jump and sit on the rookie. Cagey veteran.
He's 5 years out of Vanderbilt. His first career interception was in this building when he played for Green Bay. The backfield, 1st and goal. Benjamin on the move. 2 tight ends. Kirsten a block for Benjamin. Incomplete. Vontae Davis was on him. And a flag. Davis missed the first 2 games of the year.
Holding. Offense. Number 76. 10-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
That's their number 1 pick out of Alabama a couple years ago, DJ Fluker. 4 penalties now on San Diego.
Yeah, you're going to see Fluker. He's right in the middle there. He goes down on the block with the center, and he's late coming back on the linebacker, C.O. Moore.
First and goal at the 16. Cluster atop your screen. Rivers blocked by Houston. They go for the wide open McCluster. And he had C.O. Moore, the linebacker, on the coverage. The kind of matchup that Rivers loves.
Well, we talked about, Kevin, a new back, a player that you haven't had a lot of experience with, Dexter McCluster. And when you don't have a lot of reps in practice, this is not a player that was with you in the offseason program or even training camp. Just a handful of practices this week. The timing and rhythm simply not there between McCluster and Rivers.
2nd down and goal. They send out Gordon. Slauson with the block. And Rivers running for his life. And that 5th defensive back, Daryl Morris, chasing him. Now 3rd and goal for San Diego after the pick by Hayward.
And you'll see a lot of Zeke coverage in this part of the field from the Colts. Zeke, a 3-man rush. They're going to drop 8 in coverage. Phillip Rivers had nowhere to go with the football. And Kevin, you mentioned running. That's kind of a last resort for Phillip Rivers. He's going to try and buy some time, keep his eyes down the field, and try and locate an open receiver.
It's 3rd and goal. A lot of pressure. Oh, they were coming at him from every direction. Akeem Ayers was coming in to get him. Pressure from Zach Kerr, who had a good game last week against Denver.
Kevin, just a 3-man rush. They're going to drop Langford. We talked about this Zeke coverage in this part of the field. Again, Phillip Rivers has nowhere to go with the football. They do a terrific job getting some pressure just with their 3-man rush. But again, for the second straight play, nowhere to go with the ball down the field.
Josh Lambeau has already knocked through a 42-yard field goal. This will be a 34-yarder. The defense again for the Colts holds him out of the end zone. 10-6 now the score with 14:04 to play. They had 1st and goal at the 6. They settled for a field goal. 14:04 in the first half. That was 1st and goal for the San Diego Chargers. They could not cash in, Rich.
Yeah, their ability to finish drives in the red zone, Kevin. They've been down there a couple times. They've had to settle for field goals. And you look at some of the coverage that they've seen down there. They have to be able to make an adjustment. And part of that adjustment is having a plan for just the 3-man rush in that part of the field. Rivers has had some time, but if you're only getting 3 receivers out and they're dropping 8 in coverage, there's nowhere to go with the football. See the frustration from Phillip Rivers. He's a perfectionist. He knows you get limited opportunities in that part of the field.
And Richie has, as we've talked about already, an ever-changing cast around him.
And it's amazing, Kevin, the patience that he has with all the change around him.
Quan Bray is going to let this sail over his head out of the end zone. Touchback to the 25. 1st down and 10 for Andrew Luck, who missed some time earlier this week. He was not at practice on Wednesday.
Well, I'm a big fan of Andrew Luck, Kevin, but if you need some constructive criticism, here it is. This has got to get fixed. 71 turnovers in 57 games. That's 3rd most in the NFL over that period of time. Only Cutler and Eli Manning have more. He's got to do a better job with ball security.
And Te'o is out. Manti with an Achilles injury, the extent of which we don't know. This is score on 1st and 10. Breaking tackles into the secondary and brought down. Looked like Adrian Phillips finally got him along with Lowry. It's a 19-yard burst for Frank Gore. By the way, the Colts have not had a singular 100-yard rusher in 58 consecutive games.
Yeah, look what they're doing. They're running right at where Manti Te'o would line up. They're going right after Jatavis Brown. Getting some good movement off the left side of that offensive line.
Gore now 55 yards on 8 carries. He's still in there with a 1st and 10 handoff. And spun around. So again, with Te'o out, it is Brown taking the place, the rookie.
And I really believe that Frank Gore is a tempo setter. He just runs with great physicalness, and he's a finisher, and I think he makes everyone around him better. And these offensive linemen, they get excited when they see 23 lower the boom.
Interesting numbers right there. The all-time 49er rusher. 8 1,000-yard seasons for him. Brennan Turbin. It's 2nd down and 9. Doyle is back there. We've seen some good blocks by the tight end. Offers one right here, trying to seal the edge. And then Legic jumps on his back, and there's no gain in the play, and they stay at the 45.
There's Casey Hayward again. Down around the line of scrimmage, sticking his nose right in there, making a tackle. You're going to play for John Pagano, and you're going to play corner. You better be physical, and you better show up and run support. Good look at John. Done a terrific job. You talk about injuries last year. Every week he wasn't sure who was going to line up for him.
Josh Ferguson, a rookie free agent out of Illinois, is in the backfield on a 3rd and 9 for Luck. Atachu coming through. Luck is pressured. And down he goes. There was pressure from Perriman. There's a flag downfield at the 45-yard line of San Diego. It looks like it's on the Charger D.
They're going to get Verrett for holding, I believe.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 22, 5-yard penalty, Automatic, first down.
On 3rd and 9.
This is a great look at Jason Verrett. He's struggling a little bit with T.Y. Hilton's speed off the line of scrimmage. He is so quick and so sudden off the snap.
Rich, that is the 3rd first down for the Colts via a San Diego penalty in the game.
Kills you, you can't get off the field on 3rd down.
Ferguson remains in the backfield. It is a 1st and 10 for Luck. Oh, there's pressure. He goes underneath, and there's Doyle. He was hit by Harriman. The pressure came from Melvin Ingram on the side. The outlet was the tight end. He picks up 6, Rich, to the 44 of the Chargers.
The great thing about Andrew Luck, Kevin, he always seems to have a quick answer throw when he gets rushed or he gets in trouble. He knows he's able to work through the progressions. That's one of the things that Rob Chudzinski's worked really hard on with Andrew Luck in the offseason, speeding up that process, getting through his progressions quicker and more efficiently.
Hey, check out.
Second down and 4. Gore is back in.
7.
Avis.
Yeah, Avis.
Allen a block. The stiff arm takes him right into the defense of Lowry. Then brought down in the secondary, taken by Adrian Phillips. It is a burst of 9. He's down to the 35 of San Diego. Boy, is he running well.
When you look at the Colts, their ability to use the tight end as a fullback for Frank Gore. We've seen it with Doyle, and now we see it with Dwayne Allen.
Are they missing Teo?
Well, they are, Kevin. I mean, he's a run stuffer. He's a guy that's got experience. He's their signal caller in there. And not having him in there has got to be unsettling for that front 7.
It's on the Colts. Swope had come in as a tight end.
False start. Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Joe Wright. Well, we've talked a lot about Andrew Luck today. Of course, last season missed 9 games. Right shoulder injury, lacerated kidney, torn abdominal muscle. I mean, about every part of his body was injured.
He wasn't able to practice on Wednesday from lingering effects from the game against Denver. He needs to learn to throw the ball away once in a while, not take the ugly hit. We saw it in the first quarter. That was a positive. He's super competitive, Kevin, as you mentioned. He's got a difficult time giving up on plays.
Rodgers, an extra wide receiver, 1st and 15. They dump it off Doyle. He looks for a block. He gets one. And the rookie center leading the way. He got one, first of all, from the rookie Joe Haig, and then the other rookie, the center Ryan Kelly, leading the way. A 14-yard catch and run. It's Doyle, the tight end, to the 26 of San Diego.
This is a good-looking screen. You're going to see the tight end up top. He's going to block first, and then he turns right back around, and he gets behind that big offensive line. There's a reason why they used that first-round pick on Ryan Kelly. He is going to be a good one for the Colts.
From Alabama. Highest rated Colt offensive lineman last week in Denver by Pro Football Focus. 2nd down and 1.
White 90.
Gore again. Blocked by the tight end, Doyle, and Allen both over there, turning him in. It was a Lowry tackle. It's a gain of 5, and Gore has captured another first down to the 21 of San Diego.
And when you got a back that's running hot, you got to keep giving him the rock. You look at Frank Gore, 11 carries, 70 yards already. And look at that number, as you point out, Kevin. 52 games, 52 regular season games where they haven't had a 100-yard rusher. It's amazing. You have to go all the way back to 2012. Week 15 of 2012, Vic Bowder did it. He went for 105.
He's closing in on Marcus Allen for number 12 in rushing all time. Luck with the 1st and 10. Allen, the tight end. Hayward is there with the stop. And some help from Jatavis Brown. It is a gain of 7. And Luck having his way and looking for some pretty good time to the 14-yard line.
Well, I really like Dwayne Allen. He just knows how to sit down in the coverages. He doesn't feel the corner. Casey Hayward come in and cut him down. To have your head on a swivel. He's a big target for Andrew Luck. I love big tight ends.
Josh Ferguson is in as a running back. 2nd down and 3.
190.
Long drives, too, by this Colt team. They send it off to Ferguson, a decorated running back at the University of Illinois with a gain of 1 for the rookie free agent. He's down to about the 13.
You just got the sense, Kevin, we visited with Andrew Luck on Friday, that this team was close. He said he was frustrated that they had established a rhythm early, really put together 4 good quarters of football, something they hadn't done so far this season.
Well, he's benefiting from a good running game today, and Frank Gore has led the way. Gore is back in. Frank Gore, the only regular running back in the league so far who has not had a negative yard rushing all season long. Now we're 2.5 games in. It's nonetheless pretty indicative of what he's doing. 3rd and a short, 2. To get by Wrights. Luck is slippery, and then finally brought down by Perriman. Rush was right there. First sack of the day by San Diego's D. Back to the 15 of the Chargers.
That's just really good defense. They get it done with the 4-man rush, and then Denzel Perryman is able to come in there and clean it up.
We talked about the problems protecting Luck coming into the game.
Well, San Diego has said if they can get pressure on Luck with a 4-man rush, that they've really got a chance in this one. Look at Perryman. He comes flying in there and takes out the legs of Andrew Luck.
Here's Adam Vinatieri, 3-time Pro Bowler, 21 years in the league, and he'll tack on 3 more. 13-6, the Colts. Gore ran 1 for 19. Doyle caught 1 for 14. They end up with a 33-yard field goal. 6:25 first half.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by AutoTrader. Find your perfect new, used, or certified car on AutoTrader. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. And by Align Probiotic. Live 24/7 with Align.
Colts are having the 3rd consecutive season with an 0-2 start. They lost against Detroit. They lost at Denver. San Diego comes in 1-1. With McAfee to kick off once again for the Colts after a Vinatieri 33-yard field goal. It's McCluster from the 5. University of Mississippi. He was a Pro Bowl special teams performer. Morrison makes the stop. It's a 14-yard return. How about the fact they had McCluster out on the street? They could sign him, and he was familiar. Rich, he was familiar with the offense because he was with Wisenhunt in Tennessee.
Well, that really helps. And, he's in a training camp first and foremost, so you have a player that's in shape. He's got a history in the offense with Ken Wisenhunt in Tennessee. He's got recall of approximately 70-80% of the terminology, according to Wiz. And, he's, in my opinion, Kevin, a bit of a liability in protection. Maybe not as comfortable running up inside, but in space, he is extremely dangerous.
The rookie Watt is the fullback on a 1st and 10. He'll be the lead way right there for Gordon. Now, coming into the game, Rich, after the gain of 4, and he's up to the 23, the Charger offense was the only offense in the NFL with more run plays than pass plays. That is not the case today. 4 rushes and 12 throws.
Well, the big story in the first half has been time of possession. I mean, San Diego's only had 16 plays where the Colts have had 30, and so there hasn't been as many opportunities, but they have to get Melvin Gordon going here, Kevin. Just 4 carries for 6 yards.
It's 2nd down and 6. Pass he likes right there. It's caught by the wide receiver Inman, who picks up 9. He goes up the middle to the 32-yard line, and rookie T.J. Green brings him down in the secondary for Indy.
Rivers is really excited about Dontrell Inman. He's probably the most consistent route runner. He understands all the different positions at the wide receiver position in the offense. He can play inside, he can play outside, they can move him around.
He's consistent, isn't he? Steady.
He's a really good, solid player.
3 years on the UVA, played in the Canadian Football League, undrafted in the NFL. It's a 1st and 10 from the 32. And this is Gordon in the block on that line from Pulley. And he picks up 5, and Akeem Ayers will bring him down at the 37-yard line.
You mentioned the struggles, Kevin, that the Colts have had running the football over the last 3 seasons. Melvin Gordon, he went over 100 for just the first time in his career last week against Jacksonville. I just think that, if there's one criticism I have of the Chargers at times, they don't give him enough touches. Like in the second half, for example, the Kansas City game, they have a 21-point lead, and yet Woodhead's in there running the football and not Melvin Gordon.
Trent Cole is in as an outside backer. Second down, 5. Oh, he's got his tight end on the move. The rookie Hunter Henry, who won the Mackey Award. He works on Antonio Morrison. Rarely does Rivers go deep, about as few times as any quarterback in the league, but he hits him right there, his tight end to the 30-yard line.
And Kevin, this is the matchup they want. They want the tight end on the inside linebacker, Antonio Morrison. I mean, he's got him by 5 yards. That's what we call wide open.
And a 33-yard gain. Henry from Arkansas, second-round pick, a terrific blocker.
And if you're Phillip Rivers, Kevin, you have to keep attacking inside your tight ends versus the Colts linebackers.
If you're joining us late, Yates injured, hamstring, inactive. Gordon on 1st and 10. Ran into a blockade. There was Zach Kerr. It's a gain of 1. He takes it just inside the Indy 30.
You know, I thought it was interesting when we visited with Phillip Rivers yesterday talking about Melvin Gordon. He said he's seen a lot of these mature 3-yard runs. It's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to be pretty and clean. Sometimes as a running back, you have to smack it up in there and just avoid the negative runs. And we're seeing more of that this season with Melvin Gordon.
Five in the secondary, including Morris. Second down and 9 for Rivers. And they've got Benjamin, boy, is he tough. A block ahead by Williams. TJ Green ushers him out of bounds. A catch and run at 12. And now that Charger offense is in rhythm to the 18-yard line of Indy. First catch by Benjamin today.
Talk about separation. You can't see the defender. That's usually pretty easy pickings for a quarterback.
He had a 100-yard receiving day last week to Benjamin, 115 with 6 catches and 2 touchdowns against the Jacksonville Jaguars. 1st and 10. Gordon. Big stick coming through. Perry, among others. Davis was in there. It's a gain of 1. He's down to the 17-yard line.
You watch this Colts defense, and Kevin, you mentioned David Perry. They play hard. You know, they're not always the biggest guys or the fastest, but they play hard. They're physical, and I think they're playing faster within the scheme.
Winless Indy on top by 7, but the Chargers on the move. We have reached the 2-minute warning. Injury has made Antonio Gates inactive.
Yeah, you missed those 105 receiving receiving touchdowns. I mean, that's where he's a real difference maker for Phillip Rivers and the Chargers.
And no Woodhead today either. You lose 2 guys important in that red zone. Second down, 9, 8th play of the drive. 2 timeout San Diego. Four defensive backs. Play clock at 2. Rivers. Good. Incomplete. Mathis was over there.
Wow, they had a big one here. If Phillip Rivers could have fit this one in, look at the screen as they start dropping out. They've got the perfect play dialed up. You see the linemen get out in front, but Phillip Rivers just floats this one. It's too difficult to catch for Melvin Gordon. But boy, that would have been a walk-in for Gordon.
They've got the nickel. 3rd and 9. Watch for Williams, who's been the favorite 3rd down receiver for Rivers. Oh, hit from behind. Walden knocks it away, and it's recovered inside by Langford. A turnover, a fumble, and Walden causes it.
You're missing your starting left tackle, King Dunlap. Chris Hairston, he gets the start right here. He's just going to get whooped right around the corner. For some reason, Chris Hairston is late out of his stance.
That is the first red zone turnover by San Diego in 16 games. And Walden causes it for the Colts. Coming up on the Verizon halftime report from our CBS studios in New York, JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowers. Scores, highlights, and news. And a preview of Thursday Night Football on NFL Network. All coming up on the Verizon halftime report. There was a unsportsmanlike penalty called on the new left tackle, Hairston, taking the place of the ill King Dunlap. Dunlap, by the way, was ill in a game and played last year, then got a concussion and was really ineffective for a good part of the season. Here's the play moments ago.
Yeah, he wasn't happy.
75.
He wasn't happy with the official, and then he's going to get in the face of the official.
You cannot do that.
No.
Oof.
That's
dumb, is what that is.
You get another one, Kevin, you know what happens.
Gone. We've already had one ejected today, a Giant lineman, a New York Giant lineman. Two timeouts apiece. Gore with the touchdown run of 6. Only touchdown this afternoon. Luck gets thrown a pick. 1st and 10 from the 38. Ferguson was the running back. The rookie free agent gets it here. Brown tries to bring him out. He stepped on the chalk, and Brown with the tackle, and Ferguson picks up 7 on the fly, and he's up to the 44-yard line of Indianapolis.
Plenty of time for Andrew Luck and the Colts. A minute 43. You've got 2 timeouts. Got time to really work the ball down the middle of the field. Use the tight ends, use the backs.
Rob Chudzinski calls the plays for the Colts. 2nd down, long 3.
White 90!
And across the middle, they have Ferguson again. And he's brought down here by the linebacker, Melvin Ingram. Jumping on his back, but not before. It's a 14-yard catch and run to the 42-yard line of the Chargers.
And the Chargers really don't want Melvin Ingram dropping in coverage. They'd rather him be rushing Andrew Luck, but he's actually in a position now where he's got to drop and cover Josh Ferguson out of the backfield, and that's a mismatch.
Teo is out. 1st and 10. Luck is up niftily, and now he's got Hilton. With a flag thrown, and down he goes. Hayward taps him on the back to the 23-yard line of San Diego. 19-yard pickup there. We'll see what this flag is all about.
Had some holding penalties, Kevin, early for the Chargers.
Pass, holding, defense, number 24. That penalty is declined. He's on the play for the 1st down.
That's Brandon Flowers.
See Flowers inside. He's covering T.Y. Hilton. He grabs him. He's not even playing man-to-man coverage. There's really no reason for it in that situation. He's buzzing out underneath the flat.
The defensive back is Adrian Phillips. Luck has hit 6 in a row, as you can see, after the 19-yard gain. 1st and 10. They blew that dead. We've got false start on Indy.
False start, offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
That's the center, the rookie center out of Alabama, Ryan Kelly. And again, with the injury to Denzel Good, the right guard, starting Joe Haig, who's a 5th-round pick and a rookie out of North Dakota State.
Well, the offensive line of the Colts, Kevin, has played well. We talked about that right side, getting off to a good start. Haig has played well. Joe Wright's cleaned up his act after giving up 3 sacks last week to Von Miller. He's been steady.
Fergus in the back, 1st and 15 for Luck. 2 timeouts for the Colts. Oh, he's brought down. On fumble to Tavis Brown, and it's picked up on the play by Reed. Look at Karan Reed, rumbling all the way. He'll take it to the house. No yellow on the field. What a play by San Diego's D. Another turnover for Indianapolis, the 2nd. Karan Reed started last year for Detroit.
Keep an eye on Brown, 57, Jatavis Brown. He's going to rip this ball out. He's the one that gets it out. Reed scoops it up, and he scores. The impact plays, Kevin, from this San Diego defense through the first couple games of the season. 5 sacks and 4 takeaways in the first 2 games, and a big strip sack fumble return. That was huge for the Chargers.
61-yard return. Brown, who is replacing Teo, stripped him and vacuumed in by Reed, and he takes it the other way. This will tie just before halftime. Amazing play by the Colts. And Luck with his second turnover. And San Diego cashes in.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Bud Light. Beer with your team on it. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, JB and Company for scores, news, highlights, and a preview of Thursday Night Football on NFL Network. It's the Verizon Halftime from our CBS studios. The Chargers have scored 10 points off of 2 Luck turnovers. And that guy, Karan Reed, coming in with a big play. And Brown, Jatavis Brown, who is their coverage linebacker to begin with, but with Manti Teo out and injured, the rookie from Akron with the strip sack, and that ball will go out of the end zone, touchback to the 25. The Colts have 2 timeouts and 55 seconds with which to work.
Well, let's go back and take a look at the last play, Kevin. They're going to blitz, and then they're going to drop. So they bring pressure from one side and drop on the other. Clearly, Luck isn't anticipating, and he gets fooled. You got to throw the ball away in this situation. You've got first down. You're inside the 30-yard line, and you just can't have a negative play. We talked about the issue with ball security. The turnovers from Andrew Luck have been killers for the Colts.
Ron Reed hasn't run that fast since he was an undergrad at Princeton running to class. Here's a 1st and 10. Gore up the middle, and he's hard to bring down. Another fumble recovered by Luck. As Gore was trilled and the ball was coughed up on the play. Another hard hit. And it was a hit by Emmanuel, the linebacker, and the ball is back to the 24-yard line.
Well, what a big hit by Kyle Emmanuel. Wow, the Chargers are really starting to bring the wood.
2nd down, 11 for Luck, and again, 2 timeouts.
They're just going to run it out here. Go to the locker room at 13-13 and get it cleaned up.
The momentum has clearly shifted. The winless Colts are tied after leading early 10-zip. And this is the Gore handoff. Brought down by Phylon. And the boos cascading down on the winless Colts and their quarterback, Andrew Luck.
That's an ugly way to finish the half if you're the Indianapolis Colts.
We're going to go to halftime in New York. We're tied at 13. Verizon halftime being put together for you from our CBS studios. You're watching the NFL on CBS. It's tied at 13 here in Indianapolis. The Chargers coming from behind and taking a chance to tie. Let's take a look at the first half highlight presented by DirecTV. Luck with his 2nd turnover. Stripped by Brown, picked up by Reed, and he flies the other way. As much as a man that big and that round can fly. But he did it, and he ties it up with the extra point. Well, all this month, we at CBS want to bring awareness to childhood cancer. So teaming up with St. Jude Research Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee, we are wearing our pins. We've got the special St. Jude's tie-on. And there are events taking place all over the country to bring awareness to childhood cancer. Like here in Indianapolis yesterday, our own Rich Gannon participated in the St. Jude Walk Run to end childhood cancer. Now, the good news is Rich was ready to run. The bad news is he took a wrong turn. He goes, This isn't 5K, it's like a 1K. You got lost.
You know what? It's funny. After about 2 miles into it, I thought this is pretty easy because I could see the finish line. I don't think it was a 5K, but I think the group in front of me took the wrong turn. But anyway, it was great to be out there.
It was
certainly
good that you did that. That was
to raise
terrific.
awareness,
Yep.
and they're doing so many wonderful things at St. Jude.
Got lost. Who gets
I had a
lost on
great time.
5K?
I had my all-time record is the fastest 5K I've ever run. I thought that was only like a 3K.
You are funny, man. All right, here's the kickoff to begin the second half. Mager will bring it out of the end zone and runs into a wall, then is brought down on the play by Edwin Jackson. It is a 20-yard return. All right, Rich, let's talk about adjustments.
Well, plenty of positives for San Diego, but offensively they need to get Melvin Gordon going, Kevin. Just 7 carries for 13 yards. Defensively, a couple sacks of Andrew Luck. They scored on defense. That's all positive. You look at the Colts, ball security continues to be an issue for this offense. And finally, they've been really good and down the red zone. They've held San Diego to just 2 field goals in the first half.
20-yard line, it is a 1st and 10. Phillip Rivers, 8 of 16. The San Diego team has scored 10 points off of 2 Luck turnovers. 1st and 10, Barksdale the block at the right tackle, and he's looking downfield for Benjamin with the coverage on the play by Daryl Morris. Was not in the Colts camp, signed off the street. Incomplete, 2nd down 10. Through the first half, Rich, these are some of the numbers.
Well, you look at the rushing differential, and of course the turnovers certainly tell the story, but also time of possession. The Chargers haven't had a lot of opportunities, just 24, 25 plays in the first half.
Melvin Gordon, by the way, 7 carries, 13 yards. Ford's got 70 for the Colts. 2nd down and 10. He rifles head inside. It's caught in stride by Williams. He's brought down by Mike Adams, the safety. It is a 22-yard strike and a good one by Phillip Rivers to the San Diego 42.
Well, Williams is a big, fast, physical receiver. He just needs the experience. Just a handful of catches coming into this one. Look at that target over the middle for Phillip Rivers.
Tyrell had a 44-yard touchdown reception last week against Jacksonville. 1st and 10. They play the nickel. Gordon, 2nd catch today. 3rd time they've thrown to him. Knocked out of bounds by Mike Adams on the play. Very close to the 1st down. And he takes it looks like, to the 48-yard line of Indy.
He is a glider. He is so smooth. You just look for ways to get him into the transition. I think the more he can do, Kevin, in the passing game as well, with the absence of Danny Woodhead, he's going to have to shoulder more of the responsibility in the passing game out of the backfield.
It's 1st and 10. Here is Gordon. Round his ankles, he finds David Perry, a 5th-round pick a year ago out of Stanford. There's a gain of 4 as he was moving the pile. He wears that number 28, Gordon does, for a reason. He grew up idolizing Adrian Peterson. And this past offseason, after a lackluster rookie year, he worked out with Peterson. He says it's kind of changed the entire football landscape for him.
It was so beneficial to watch AP work out and train and really learn from the master. And Ken, I just think it's important. We talked about receivers getting touches early. How about your franchise back in Melvin Gordon? Didn't get enough opportunities in the first half.
It's 2nd down and 6. They pick up the blitz of Adams. They throw to Henry, and he is brought down on the play by DeQuell Jackson. It is a gain of 6, very close to a 1st down. The rookie out of Arkansas, and a 2nd-round pick will pick it up. He's down to the Colt 37.
He is the heir apparent to Antonio Gates, and he is going to be a good one. Very good hand catcher. Tell he's getting more and more comfortable with his route running, and he's not afraid to stick his nose in there in the running game.
Where Rivers lets that play clock, Rich, down to the final seconds, doesn't it?
And that's what he does, Kevin, and the Colts have talked about it. They have to do a good job disguising their intentions.
1st and 10, Gordon picks up the blitz. It's Benjamin with blockers ahead. He had Inman downfield. He had Hairston right in front. Vontae Davis brings him down. It's a gain of 8 on first down. Boy, it makes things a lot easier when your first down picks up 8 yards.
Well, you see the receivers out in front, but now watch the big lineman. And Travis Benjamin's not very big, but he is fast and slippery in the open field.
Comes from Cleveland. At Cleveland, he had 9 different quarterbacks in 4 years. Amazing. Second down and 2.
You mentioned disguising their intentions. That's what the Colts have talked about all week, Kevin. They've got to hold their looks until the very last second with a quarterback like Phillip Rivers. Force him to make as many post-snap reads as possible.
His pre-snap reads are terrific. Second and 2. Gordon outside. And holding on for dear life is Clayton Gathers. He is a good one out of Central Florida. Second year, throws him for a 3-yard loss. They'll be back to the 32 of Indy.
That is a fine tackle by Clayton Gathers. I mean, if he misses, Melvin Gordon is off to the races.
He broke his foot early in camp. So he had no camp, Rich, and no preseason.
It's tough for a young player, but look how strong he is. Look at those big biceps. He's able to wrap his arms around Gordon and get him on the ground.
It's third down and 5. They have somebody way back covering at the 10. Rivers underneath. It's caught by Williams on the fly, down the sideline, picks up the first down. Bring him to the 13-yard line of Indy, 19-yard catch and run. Gathers brings him out of play.
Well, it's the crossing routes that are really hurting the Colts. And they're having a difficult time passing things off. See Antonio Cromartie, he gets caught in the wash, and they can't make the switch. And Tyrell Williams has the easy catch.
That was on 3rd and 5. They've thrown to him on 3rd down this season 6 times. He's converted all of them. And a player down, and that is Gathers across the way, who is more of a hybrid linebacker. You know, Rich, he plays down in that box a lot. He's a hard hitter. They're looking at him right now. There's an injury timeout in 11:04 in the 3rd from Indy. Tonight on the season premiere of 60 Minutes is the war on ISIS, a world war. The King of Jordan says it is, plus a frightening scenario about Russia and their nuclear weapons. That's tonight, only CBS. Well, Phillip Rivers has really settled down. He's at 6 in a row now.
And he continues to be effective, Kevin, with the quick, accurate throws, and they're really hurting the Colts with all the crossing routes versus man-to-man coverage.
It's the 9th play of the drive. McCluster will be wide, and he will be atop your screen. Nickel secondary for the Colts, 1st and 10.
He's just going to look at it, preview it, get the team into the best play possible based on the front and coverage.
They come back up in his grill. He goes outside to Dexter McCluster, who was brought down by C.O. Moore. It is a gain of 3 on the play.
It was a big hit by C.O. Moore. Buyer beware. Gonna go inside. Bang! Sometimes it's not always necessary to see a good hit. You can just hear it.
Or feel it.
C.O. Moore, they're excited about him, Kevin. The player that came over a couple years ago from the Raiders.
Zone struggles right there by San Diego. 2nd down and 7. Gordon following whatever room is there, and there's not much, and he picks up 3. They were talking to us about Gordon yesterday, and they said he's making mature 3- and 4-yard runs. What do they mean by that?
Well, we talked a little bit about it, Kevin. It's not always clean for a running back, and so when it's not clean, rather than running around, dancing around in the backfield and losing a couple yards, you got to be willing to smack it up in there and take what the defense gives you. Even though, you know, it's a 1-yard run or even back to the line of scrimmage, it's better than losing 2 or 3 yards. Something he did too often as a rookie.
McNary comes in for DeQuell Jackson. Dexter McCluster has come in for the running back Gordon. 3rd and 4. Look at the play clock. Rivers on the quick slant, and it is to McCluster, who's hit by C.O. Moore. They get to the 1. They pick up 6 on 3rd and 4. 1st and goal, San Diego.
Well, you think about McCluster, Kevin. He's only 5'8", 170 pounds, but he has courage. We saw him 2 plays earlier run inside and get hit by C.O. Moore. That time he lowers the boom and tries to get into the end zone, but he's a tough guy that's willing to work. in the middle of the field.
Gathers, who was just knocked out of the game, is back in the game, and it's a 1st and goal. And Gordon has come back in with J.J. Watt's younger brother, Derek Watt.
There's a reason why he's in there, Kevin. The block for Gordon.
Couple tight ends, and a whistle and a flag.
$12 men on defense. Half the distance to the goal. Still first down.
So, in essence, a 5-inch penalty or so.
But still, though,
Cromartie comes out. Yeah, why do they have that many out there?
You know, it's attention to detail, making sure that you got the right people on the field. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Too many.
12th play of the drive, 1st and goal. Behind Watt. This is Gordon slashing in for the touchdown. And the Chargers have taken their first lead today. What a drive.
This is where I really think Melvin Gordon has become such a better runner. Running behind his pads, he's more comfortable, obviously, with the fullback in front of him, particularly Derek Watt, who he played with at Wisconsin. He's been terrific in this part of the field. 4 touchdowns already this season.
And none last year, which is an amazing number to look at.
He struggled, Kevin, and I think he lost his confidence. And he was asked to do some things that he really wasn't comfortable doing. So many of the runs last year were out of the shotgun, offset. We're seeing more of him in his natural position out of the eye.
Lambeau puts it up, and it is no good. Was it deflected? It looked like Antonio Cromartie may have gotten a hand on it. And it stays 19-13. Melvin Gordon with his college teammate leading the way, in for 6. And the Chargers have the lead.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Walmart. Save money, live better. And by Hyundai, official sponsor of the NFL.
You just never know where you're going to get a chance to impact the play. Look at the effort by 11-year pro Antonio Cromartie. McGrath is late getting off the snap, and Cromartie does just enough to get a piece of that ball.
And the kickoff following all that. It's over to Adequan Bray into the 25 and a touchback. But the Chargers have captured the momentum. 8:23 in the third from Indianapolis. Earlier this month, the Colts, the Indianapolis Parks Foundation, and Indy Parks broke ground on the Colts Fitness Park, a 5,000 square foot play space, which includes a Play 60 course, a 40-yard dash, and exercise equipment. Well, there's a look at Antonio Cromartie. He was a first-round pick by these same San Diego Chargers and played there from 06 to 09.
What a great effort, Kevin. And we always talk about the importance of a kicking game. You just never know how you could impact this game. Now it's a 6-point game as opposed to a 7-point game because of a terrific play by Antonio Cromartie.
Brown is the linebacker with Teo out with an Achilles handoff to Gore on 1st and 10. Looked like Brown, Jatavis Brown, the rookie, gets him after a gain of 5. He's up to the 30-yard line.
Well, a good look at the first half possessions. Not the finish they were hoping for. You look at those last couple drives, the fumble, and then, of course, the half. But they have been very good at making adjustments at the half. A good team to start the second half. They've scored touchdowns on both of their first half possessions in both weeks 1 and week 2. They've been very good out of the half.
Joe Haig is playing the right tackle. 2nd down and 5. He is a rookie who began at guard. And Luck low. And was it caught by Philip Dorsett? He says it was. Ingram was there. Gain of 6. And that is a first down. He's up to the 36 of the Colts.
You go down and get it. Kevin, you mentioned the changes along that offensive line. You've got Harrison in there now, and you've got Haig, who started the game at guard, who's now bounced out to right tackle.
Harrison is playing at the right guard. 1st and 10.
Kill.
Hey, 8-2.
Green 70. Set.
The Gore run. Very nice tackle made by Brown, throwing him for a yard loss. It's back to the 35. It's the first negative yardage that Gore has had in this season.
It was a terrific play by Jatavis Brown. I mean, he takes on Doyle right in the hole and is able to avoid the block and make the tackle in the backfield on Frank Gore.
We were holding off on Joe Wrights and why he is not in at the right tackle, a back injury. He came into this week with a calf and neck injury. Didn't practice Wednesday, limited Thursday. Injured again. Second down, 11. They're going deep and they're looking for him. Oh, they say he got it. Working on Verrett to the 32-yard line of San Diego. 33-yard catch.
Perfect catch, and watch the awareness by T.Y. Hilton to drag that right foot. This is a fantastic catch by T.Y. Hilton.
Just the second deep ball he has caught. First and 10. And it goes to Gore, who's brought down by Brown, and a 2-yard gain to the 30 of San Diego.
And a savvy play by Andrew Luck. They go up and jump the ball. They're not even going to give the Chargers coaching staff an opportunity to look at that replay.
Luck just turned 27, the 3-time Pro Bowler. Second down and 8. The new running back is Josh Ferguson.
Ready. Check out. Ready.
Luck caught Hilton. Boy, they are working on Verrett. He's having a tough time. That's a gain of 6 right there to the 24 of the Chargers.
You know, most teams would shy away from an opponent's best corner, but not the Indianapolis Colts. They've been going after Jason Verrett. They've used double moves. He's really struggling right now handling the smaller T.Y. Hilton. Sometimes you have to give him some help. You can't leave him out there on an island all day against T.Y. Hilton.
9 consecutive completions for Andrew Luck. It is 3rd down and 2. Rodgers was the extra wide receiver. Luck, here comes the rush. And there goes the throw, and Allen's got it right in front of Brown, who was defending, and he tumbles ahead, taking him to the 10, 14-yard pickup. It's 1st and goal, Indianapolis.
Just look at the pocket for Andrew Luck. I mean, the 5 big men up front, they do a terrific job. Look, they pass off the inside stunt there. Luck's moving around, looking for his first, second, primary receiver. He's got too much time in the pocket.
Now he's got 10 straight, and remember we came in talking about Luck being the most pressured quarterback of any quarterback in the NFL.
Teams like to blitz Andrew Luck.
Gore is in, 1st and goal. Back shoulder throw, Hilton to the 1. Defended by Verrett, 9-yard pickup, 2nd down and goal.
Well, that's a matchup right now that Andrew Luck absolutely loves. I mean, this is a perfect throw by Luck on the back shoulder for T.Y. Hilton. Jason Verrett never sees that ball leave the hands of Andrew Luck.
Dante Moncrief out, Rich. Hilton had to make this kind of a performance. He had to stand up more.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot. The personnel usage has been impressive from Rob Chudzinski, the offensive coordinator of the Colts.
They take out Verrett, but they take out the other corners too. Gore, 2nd and goal. I think Legion got him with the shoulder. They also put in Nick Dusmar, and he makes the stop as well.
It's a great effort by Corey Legion. He's actually in the bottom of a pile, and he somehow finds a way to still make that stop.
The Zubner is out of Cal Poly SLO, San Luis Obispo. He wears 48. There he is. Comes in and defensive stands like this, but Legion is a signature player on that line. 3rd and goal at the 1.
Liz.
Look, there's
an offensive pass interference.
Adrian Phillips was trying to defend Eric Swope, the tight end.
I think that's going to be offensive pass interference. Swope looks like he clearly pushes him.
Former basketball player at Miami.
Pass interference.
Oh.
Defense. Number 31.
Maybe I missed something.
half the distance to the goal. Half the distance to the
top of your
goal.
screen.
Automatic first down.
Little hand-to-hand combat
I don't
working
know.
on Adrian Phillips.
I think the Colts might have got a break there. Clearly they're trying to get the matchup, the taller tight end on the shorter defender.
First and goal at the 1. Turbin. 1-yard touchdown run. His second touchdown run in as many weeks. And the Colts have tied it with the extra point coming up.
Talked about how good the Colts were coming out of the half offensively. Look at the push they get up front. And Turbin able to keep his eyes open and find a seam between the guard and the tackle.
Third straight week that the first drive in the second half for the Colts has resulted in a touchdown. Vinatieri will try the extra point and give his team a lead. They began with a 10-0 lead. 20-19, Indy, 2:39 to play. That drive had a pass of 33 yards to Hilton, 14 to Allen, and then Turbin bulldozing in from a yard for Indianapolis.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon. Welcome to Verizon LTE Advanced, the next-gen network. And by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM.
Pat McAfee's going to kick off for Indianapolis after that good-looking drive with a 1-yard touchdown run by Turbin. Deep back, they've got McCluster, who's going to get this one. Mager is back there, too. Craig Mager, he tells him to go to a knee, which McCluster does. So we have 2:39 to play in the third quarter. Phillip Rivers trudging back out there. His Chargers down by 1. Week 3 continues with Sunday Night Football on NBC and Monday Night Football tomorrow night on ESPN and Westwood One Radio. Then Week 4 kicks off with Thursday Night Football on NFL Network.
Yeah, we have two red-hot quarterbacks right now. Rivers has hit his last 8. Andrew Luck, his last 11 throws. And you look at Rivers in that last drive, 8 of 9 for 72 yards, including 5 different receivers. He's doing a nice job spreading the ball around in this offense.
Again, remember that Dunlap, the starting left tackle, has an illness. He is out, and Chris Hairston has been replacing him at that tackle. First and 10. Melvin Gordon into a thicket of defenders, and he picks up 4 near the 29-yard line. You can see everybody with a hand on him. Buquell Jackson along with Mike Adams.
You look at the Chargers through the first 3 weeks, Kevin, I think one of the positives has been the fact that there haven't been very many negative plays. The sacks, the turnovers, the penalties, the negative runs, they've been able to keep them to a minimum. It's a big reason why they've been in every game with a chance to win.
Colts have been in nickel most of the game defensively. Second down and 6. Play clock at 2. A lot of chaos. Rivers chased by Majit and knocked away by a couple of defenders. Cromartie was over there. And with the defense, it's incomplete, and it's 3rd and 6 as Cromartie and Rivers have a talk.
We haven't mentioned Robert Mathis' name very much. They've done a terrific job slowing him down, and also Eric Walden. They've played really well off the edges. You look at the change they made. King Dunlap not in there. Chris Harrison, he's held up pretty well on the left side.
3rd and 6. Play clock at 5. He's got him. Another drop. Benjamin, that would have been good for a first down.
Well, not the easiest of catches, but one that you have to make if you're Travis Benjamin. Look at Rivers, he's getting some push. You have to make that catch. He had the separation he needed from Antonio Cromartie.
They've told us, by the way, that Wrights is out for the rest of the game, so the shuffling continues on the offensive line for the Colts when they get it. Punt coming up for Drew Kaiser. Mike Cyphers was let go after 13 years. Wobbles downfield. Quandre is under it. And a nice tackle made at the other end of the field and grabbed on the play by Williams. 38-yard punt. 4-3 hang time. Luck back out there with a couple of turnovers, but the lead at 1:32 to go in the third. It was 10-0 Indianapolis. Then a big run by the Chargers, cashing in on turnovers. They took a lead. Now the Chargers trail by 1.
Yeah, Gore got the party started early. You mentioned, Kevin, that put him up 10, and then the big strip by Brown. Big scoop up by Karan Reed. That got him back in at the missed extra point. A crucial miss there. And, of course, Turbin goes in from a couple yards out. Indy up by 1.
Gore is in, 1st and 10. And this is to the tight end, Doyle, who is ushered out of bounds by Dezudne. And it's a catch and run of 11 and a first down for the Colts. Luck has thrown a pick, fumbled the ball away with the 2 turnovers. And it was at one time 19-13 San Diego, but a long drive last possession, Rich. 1-yard Turbin touchdown run. It's now the 1-point lead for Indy. The winless Colts are 0-2. The Chargers are 1 up and 1 down on the season so far. 1st and 10. It's Gore, who has looked good, especially in the first half. Dezudne around his ankles. Gain of 2 up to the 45-yard line of Indy.
Yeah, he's been a real tone setter. Gore, 18 carries, almost 80 yards already. And talk about the importance for the Indianapolis Colts, Kevin. No team has made the playoffs after starting 0-3. Going back over the last 10 years. And, you look at the Colts, they've been in this situation a lot. 3 straight years where they've gotten off to poor starts. 0-2 for 3 straight seasons under Chuck Pagano.
By the way, Dezudne has come in. He was taking the place of Brown, who was taking the place of the injured Manti Te'o with an Achilles injury. 2nd down, 8. Gore drilled. Perriman got him. A gain of a yard. They'll put him at the 46-yard line of Indy.
I've been impressed with the play of the inside linebackers of the Chargers. We mentioned Manti Te'o out. Jatavis Brown has come in and done a terrific job, as has Denzel Perryman. He has made a lot of stops today for the Chargers.
We've had 2 second-half lead changes in Indianapolis. At the end of 3, Colts by 1 on CBS. We're going to start the 4th quarter. Chuck Pagano, the 5th-year head coach for the Colts on the right, has his 3rd consecutive season of an 0-2 start. Mike McCoy, coming off a 4-12 season a year ago, 4th-year head coach. They're 1-1. Here is an important 3rd and 7 play from the 46 for the Colts. They got Turbin in the backfield. Luck going deep. Flag is thrown. They have Flowers over there, along with Adrian Phillips in the defense of T.Y. Hilton. Now this is going to be against San Diego, it would appear.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 22. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic, first down.
That's the Colts' 5th first down by a San Diego defensive penalty.
Kevin, the penalties, the mindless penalties on 3rd down have been a killer. And Jason Verrett he's on the left side of your screen. You're going to see him right there. I mean, he's grabbing Philip Dorsett, and we're going to call that every time. He has really struggled at the line of scrimmage against Philip Dorsett and T.Y. Hilton.
It's going in the backfield, 1st and 10 for Andrew Luck. 13 consecutive completions except for that last one there with the penalty. And he is twisting out of defenders. He gets it off to Gore, who's pushed out of bounds by Perriman. A flag is down, and the offensive lineman, Jack Mewhort, is down, who is their starting left guard. And that is not a good sign. We've already seen changes.
Offense, number 84. 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
Tight end Jack Doyle.
Well, this is a problem, Kevin. You're asking Jack Doyle to block Melvin Ingram. Watch Ingram. You talk about leverage and how important it is. He's just going to walk Doyle right back into the lap of Andrew Luck. It's a miracle that Luck wasn't sacked in that situation, but they get the holding penalty.
They rolled up on the back of Jack Mewhort's leg, which is the concern right now. He was their best pass blocker on the line a season ago. But we already have a lot of changes on the line. A suspect line to begin with, as we've told our earlier audience, that Andrew Luck coming into today the most pressured quarterback in pro football.
Yeah, Karan Reed's going to fall right in the back of the legs of Jack Mewhort. Nothing you can do in that situation to protect yourself. Just keep an eye on the middle of your screen. He's going to fall on the back of Mewhort's legs there, and that hurts.
They bring in Austin Blythe to take his place, and Blythe is a 7th-round rookie out of Iowa. He's been inactive the last couple games up today, and he'll take Mewhort's place at that left guard.
Kevin, they've got to be really concerned now. You've got a bunch of rookies on that offensive line, a rookie center, a rookie guard, a rookie that's now bounced out to play the right tackle position. That's 3 rookies along that offensive line.
Urban was in there on a 1st and 20. He throws it in the turf with the pressure coming. Laku's turned it over twice today with a kickoff and a fumble.
And if you're the Chargers front 7, you have to be aware of the fact that they are so young and inexperienced in front of you. Look at John Pagano. They've got to make sure they win the battle in the trenches against a very inexperienced offensive line. You have to do some things differently. Give them some different looks. Give them some stunts in some games that they haven't seen or prepared for. Make it difficult on that rookie center.
Mewhort, the left guard, is back out there, following the San Diego secondary, 2nd down and 20. Moves up nicely, going deep. Oh, he's got an open receiver. The rookie free agent from Grambling State, Chester Rogers. His first NFL reception. They beat Hayward, and at the other end, a flag.
Pass interference, offense, number 80, 10-yard penalty, replay 2nd down.
That's the guy who caught the ball, Rogers.
Well, you wonder how he got the separation. Casey Hayward was actually in position, and all of a sudden, Rogers was wide open.
Rogers was their leading preseason receiver. There's a look at Hayward. He has an interception today, had 2 last week, and Jeff Pagano does not like the call.
Well, here's the matchup up top. Hayward in position, good coverage. And then right there he creates a little bit of separation. But on top of that, Casey Hayward doesn't do a good job locating the ball in the air. Very fortunate in that situation.
Look at now, 2nd and Kokomo, 2nd and 30. They need inside the 40, and here's a run. It's Robert Turbin who digs his way and finds some room up to the 40, hit by McCoyle. It's a gain of 10.
Well, you've got all these rookies up along the offensive line, Kevin. The penalties are starting to pile up.
Number 84, 10-yard penalty, replay 2nd down.
But Jack Doyle's been called a couple times for that hold. And he is first and foremost that fullback that goes in there playing the tight end position. Good pass catcher certainly, but his blocking has been key. And some frustration here.
Well, you just keep pushing yourself backwards. There's not a lot of plays in the playbook for 2nd and 40. If you're Rob Jasinski, you're thinking screen or draw in this situation.
Well, the draw is what you called, and the tackle was made on the play by Palapoy, Tenny Palapoy, on a gain of 2 on the run by Turbin. They take him up to the 23.
Turbin's slow coming off.
The Chargers defense has not allowed a conversion of 3rd and 10 or longer this season.
And Kevin, if you're Andrew Luck in this situation, 3rd and 37, you have to use good judgment. I just can't take a sack or turn the football over in this situation. Even checking the ball down, anything positive.
Underneath, 3rd and 37.
It's a good play.
It's Doyle who tries to hurdle his way in to Zubner, who makes the stop. It's a 14-yard gain. Well shy of the 1st down, and There's a player down for San Diego.
Perryman.
Yes.
He's clutching that knee.
They've lost Manti Te'o early in the game with an Achilles, and it did not look good. And now Perryman is down. Injury timeout in Indy, 12:28 to play in the fourth on CBS. Your weekend starts on Thursday when the Miami Dolphins battle the Cincinnati Bengals. Thursday night football on NFL Network. Well, on that drive, Indianapolis had gains of 10, 11, and 58 yards, all wiped out because of penalties. So Andrew Luck, who's turned the ball over twice and has gone 19 of 27 for 236, is on the sideline, and the punting unit is out there for the first time today for Indianapolis. And the best punter, Pat McAfee, in the NFL is out there. He has been the #1 graded punter by Pro Football Focus, and out there he is.
And also out there is Travis Benjamin, Kevin, who was brought into San Diego to also help in this area as well, the punt return.
He's got the highest average in punt returns in the NFL with Cleveland at that time over the last 4 years.
It's an area where they really struggled a season ago.
High snap to McAfee from Overton, the long snapper. Benjamin. Oh, he fumbled the ball! But it was quickly picked up. Quickly picked up on the play by Verrett. There was a 3.5 second hang time. Verrett alertly got the ball. He is shaken up.
Watch the hit that Verrett takes as he's picking it up. I mean, he gets his legs sawed out from under him.
I think by Kurt Magid.
Kurt Magid, he comes flying in here. Watch Verrett. He sees the loose ball. He goes to pick it up, and he's never able to brace for impact. Wow, knocks the shoe right off his right foot.
That's when you know you've been hit.
Well, they can't afford to lose Jason Verrett, who's had his struggles today, Kevin, against the smaller, quicker receivers of the Colts and T.Y. Hilton and Philip Dorsett.
It's the offset eye with the fullback, the rookie out of Wisconsin, Watt. Melvin Gordon in the backfield, 1st and 10. And that is caught by Watts, who takes it to the 24. It's his first NFL reception, the first true fullback in 2 years on this roster. He picks up 6, and C.O. Moore brings him down at the San Diego 24.
Well, he'll go back and look at this. Watch Travis Benjamin. He's going to run the post route. He's going to go right by the safety. I don't think Phillip Rivers has the time, nor did he really see him. But that's the guy you cannot allow to get by in the secondary. He has rare and unusual speed.
4-3. One of the fastest receivers in pro football. 2nd down and 4. And they dump it off to Gordon. Blockers ahead, a bunch of them. An entourage, and there he goes. As he takes it down the sideline, the catch and run will bring him close to midfield. It is a career-long 25-yard reception. Slow to get up is Fluker.
Well, this is a good-looking screen. You look at these big guys getting out in front. You look at the patience of Melvin Gordon. Phillip Rivers is going to hold the ball, draw the rush. Now look at Slauson. He gets out in front. And Franklin. And on the other side, DJ Fluker. Look at the hustle by the big men.
C.O. Moore finally caught up to him. The ball is at the 49.
Come on, get down!
It's Gordon on 1st and 10, and he pedals his way to midfield. He picks up the yard. And with the tackle there, Henry Anderson, active today for the first time in a year, was injured with an ACL tear last November. He's been out all season, practiced this week full-time, full speed, and out there he is. He's been limited today. He stops him for a 1-yard gain. 2nd and 9 coming up.
You know, the problems that they've had on defense, given the first 2 weeks, the injury-plagued secondary playing behind a front that's had some injuries as well. It's great to see Anderson back out there.
Rivers looks at the landscape. It's a nickel secondary. Going deep, and he's got Benjamin, and he's got the ball! He beats Morris. What a catch inside the 10, 43-yard strike. First and goal to go, San Diego.
Well, they saw the play we just talked about. You can't allow their fastest player, Travis Benjamin, to get by you in the secondary. You have to keep tabs on him and keep him in front of you. Look at the double move. The double move is just enough to freeze the corner.
There is a flag thrown at the 37.
After the play was over.
After the play.
Unsportsmanlike conduct by the offense. Number 17. A 15-yard penalty will be assessed from the dead ball spot.
Well, that's unusual.
Ball, first and 10. It is number 17's first foul of unsportsmanlike conduct toward possible disqualification.
He was talking to David Perry. The 34-year-old Rivers said something.
You got to expect that from Phillip Rivers. But, hey, the rules are the rules. If they apply to defensive players, they've got to apply to the quarterback. You can't taunt. It's been a point of emphasis the entire offseason.
So the ball will be at the 22 as opposed to inside the 10.
Well, you get a real feel there, Kevin, for the speed of Travis Benjamin.
Ninth penalty on San Diego today. Clock is under 10 and ticking. Each team with 3 timeouts. Mike McCoy, as they beat and manhandle Jacksonville last week, looking for a second consecutive win. First and 10. Play clock at 2. Just got it off. Rivers. And he's looking for his tight end, which he has, the rookie, Hunter Henry, a 12-yard catch across the way. He was working on rookie T.J. Green. They put him at the 10.
Well, it took Phillip Rivers a little while to find Hunter Henry, but he does a terrific job, Kevin, prior to the snap, changing the protection, bringing the extra back in to make sure they pick it up. That's the beauty of Phillip Rivers. He does such a terrific job pre-snap, recognizing the front, the coverage, and where the pressure's coming from.
Henry taking the place of the inactive Antonio Gates with a hamstring.
He's like an air traffic controller out there.
First and goal. Blocked by Gordon. Inside they go to receiver Williams. Tyrell Williams slides inside to the 4. Cromartie brings him down. It is a gain of 6.
Remember now, if you're Phillip Rivers, you always talk about the importance of tips and reminders in the huddle. I've got to tell my teammates, hey, we score here, stay out here. We're going to probably go for 2 in this situation. Good look at Ken Wisenhunt. He knows the situation in the game and what they've got to do.
It's second and goal at the 4. The tight end in the slot, the fullback wide in motion. Rivers. Incomplete. Adams was covering the cross by Williams.
Well, Mike Adams is a good player. Kevin went to the Pro Bowl last year, the veteran from the University of Delaware. He sees this the whole way. That ball's got to be completed over the ball. It took too long for Rivers to find Williams. Well, the third down, the Chargers have thrown on every third down so far this game. 9 of them.
McCuster is in third and goal at the 4. Eric Walden devours Phillip Rivers. They lose 11. Make it 4.
Well, you look at Walden. He keeps his eyes on Phillip Rivers the whole time as he's rushing. He's going to be working on the tight end at Barksdale's there. Look at him keep his eyes on Rivers.
Rise at 27-yard field goal try by Josh Lambo. And this is for the lead. With 7.5 to go. 2-point lead for the Chargers. Third lead change.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by national mortgage lender Quicken Loans. Home by Refi Power. Domino's. Order online at Domino's.com. And by Toyota. Let's go places.
He is not a lawyer, but he knows how to win the case. Michael Weatherly stars in TV's #1 news show, Bull. New episode Tuesday after NCIS. How about that mind of Luck and his offensive coordinator, Rod Jasinski, on that sideline?
Well, they've been in this situation a number of times. Look at those 14 career game-winning drives. He knows just what to do. He won't panic. He's been a clutch performer late in games.
The ensuing kickoff after the 27-yard field goal is out of the end zone and over the head of Quan Bray, so it's out to the 25 with a touchback in 1st and 10.
Luck has done a nice job, Kevin, spreading the ball around. You look at T.Y. Hilton, 5 catches for 91 yards. The tight ends combined for 9 catches.
They're without Dante Moncrief, who is out 4 to 6 weeks with a fractured scapula. And he had done unusual things because of his size. So more has fallen on the shoulder of Hilton and Philip Dorsett. It's a 1st and 10. Gore out of the backfield, up to the side. Hilton is there. Flowers with the coverage. He throws a strike, good for 12. They'll put the ball at the 37-yard line of Indianapolis.
Look at the cushion from Flowers on T.Y. Hilton. He's not going to get beat. He's not going to let him run by him.
Is that the first time Flowers has been on him as opposed to Verrett?
Well, they've done a good job, Kevin, moving T.Y. Hilton around a little bit. And we just saw Verrett limp off the field.
Yep, so Verrett is out. They got Hayward playing one corner.
This changes, I think, the way you play the game if you're Luck. I mean, you don't have your top corner out there, Jason Verrett. You have to go after these corners.
1st and 10, up the middle they come with Perriman's pressure, and it was there. Flowers was watching Hilton, who is pleading for a flag.
That's a good no call because that really was just a throwaway. I think it was an uncatchable ball. Look at Flowers, though. He's going to have his hands full with T.Y. Hilton. He grabs him there. He did get away with one.
It's 2nd down.
They call it an uncatchable ball, but Flowers has to be careful. And if I'm Rob Jasinski, I'm up in the press box and I'm looking at this, Kevin, there's no Jason Verrett. I have to go after Brandon Flowers. He's the weak link right now in that Chargers secondary.
After a poor season last year, Flowers in shape and playing well to begin the season. 2nd down and 10. Here they come, and down he goes. He was held by Phillips. Adrian Phillips flying through and grabbing Luck. It'll be 3rd down and 10. He did get the ball away, but the pressure coming from the secondary.
Well, the pressure comes off the edge. Rivers is late to see it, but he does an excellent job here just throwing the ball away and avoiding a sack. He got fooled by the perimeter pressure.
Luck throwing it away, and you've talked about that, and that's the one thing that continues a work in progress for him.
Yeah, you got to learn to throw the ball away. Sometimes the best play, the only play is to throw it away and live for another down.
Verrett waiting to come in. 5 in the San Diego secondary. 3rd and 10 for Andrew Luck. They're coming through again. Here comes Ingram. The pressure is there. The ball is uncatchable. It's incomplete, and the punting unit will take the field. The pressure there from San Diego.
Well, the pass rush has been outstanding from the Chargers, and Kevin, they're getting it done with 4-man pressures. They're not having to bring 5- and 6-man pressures. Great effort here by Melvin Ingram.
Ingram had a couple of sacks last week against Jacksonville. And the pressure dialed up by the Charger defensive coordinator, John Pagano. As we've said many times, he is the brother of the head coach, Chuck Pagano, of the other side of the field, the Indianapolis Colts. McAfee will punt. The 2nd time. There's a flag, and they blow that dead with the ball in mid-flight, and Benjamin. Boy, that was a beautiful punt, too. Landed at the 6.
Ball start. Offense, number 92. 5-yard penalty. It's still 4th down.
Kurt Magid, who is a rookie free agent from Tennessee. Magid, you may recall, one of the college football's best pass rushers. Then he was injured his senior year. He went undrafted. But the Colts think they have found a nice kid to develop. 9 penalties against Indianapolis today.
Too many. Been sloppy, Kevin. And they've shown up in all 3 phases, offense, defense, and in the kicking game.
I told you before, McAfee is the #1 graded punter through the first couple weeks of the NFL season. And Benjamin awaits. Benjamin waving for the fair catch. Oh, it took a wonderful bounce, but hit the chalk, they say. Hit the painted part of the field, but at the 18. 50-yard punt, well placed by McAfee. 6:38 to go. Chargers by 2. NFL Play 60, the NFL's movement for a more active generation, encourages fans to get moving and play for 60 minutes every day. Learn how you can join the NFL Play 60 movement at NFL.com/Play60. Well, this is Melvin Gordon time. You lead by a couple, and this is why you drafted him.
That's why I used that first-round pick a year ago, Kevin, for situations like this, the ability to be able to finish on offense.
It's a 1st and 10, and they send him right into the middle, and Zach Kerr wraps him up as he gets to the 20 and picks up 2. The Jets and Chief from Arrowhead. Let's go to James.
Fitzpatrick ties a career high.
Yeah, not in a good way. This is his 5th interception thrown on the day. This one goes to Derek Johnson, the old man. He's going to take it all the way back to the house. That sets up this game-winning 24-3. Kansas City Chiefs are up. 7 turnovers for the Jets.
Back to Kevin Harlan.
Oh, my goodness. All the turnovers. The turnovers hurt Kansas City in their loss last week in Houston. Thank you, guys. 2nd down and 7. Good block by Gordon. Rivers on the move and being chased and hauled down by C.O. Moore. It's a gain of a yard for the 34-year-old Rivers.
Well, watch this block by Melvin Gordon. He's scanning the protection. He's going to see that the left tackle gets beaten. He really rocks Robert Mathis. That'll take the edge off the pass rush on 3rd down.
Each team with 3 timeouts. 3rd down and 6. An extra defensive back has been put in. And McNary, the pass covering linebacker for the Colt D.
A lot of crossing routes in this situation. We've seen a ton of it so far from the Chargers on 3rd down.
And that's what they got right there. The quick slant. It's caught. Terrell Williams with a big grab. They get the 1st down, picking up 7 on 3rd and 6.
And just a quick hitter. We talked about the big targets for Phillip Rivers. Tyrell Williams, big, fast, physical receiver who's not afraid to work in the middle.
With the 1st and 10, it's Gordon. Stuffed. Moore was there. Jackson, Anderson all combining on the stop. No gain on the play. And just to go back on Tyrell Williams with that 1st down reception, it came on 3rd down. The 7th time this year he's done it. He's been thrown to on 7 previous 3rd down, and he's made every one of them for a 1st.
And if you're Phillip Rivers, Kevin, you really got to be conscious of this play clock. You got to take it all the way down.
Which he normally does anyway, right?
Yeah, but even on the earlier downs, make sure you're not snapping that ball with time left on the play clock.
Nickel secondary. Another cross, a quick slant. That's again to Williams, who is working on Vontae Davis, playing with a bad ankle. 11-yard pickup, another 1st down near the 40-yard line of San Diego. And Davis down.
And you worry about where a player like Vontae Davis is, Kevin, with the conditioning. He's missed so much practice time as well. Not used to playing a 60-minute game.
He's missed the last month. Didn't play in the first 2 games, an ankle injury. The best defensive back, a 2-time Pro Bowler, is down. Our clock at 3:58 in the 4th.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Progressive, handing off big savings to you. And by Subway Restaurants.
Rivers has hit Tyrell Williams for a couple of big hits. Melvin taking the place of the Pro Bowler Vontae Davis, back for the 1st time all year after an ankle injury. Now, Melvin played a lot the first 2 weeks in place of Davis. He's in there right now in the nickel.
Now you look at the Chargers, Kevin, they've already run 2 minutes and 40 seconds off the clock this drive. They just need to keep pounding the football with Melvin Gordon. Look at Mike McCoy, their inability to finish that game in Kansas City with a 21-point lead. And this is how you do it. You run the football inside 4 minutes. Makes the Colts start using some of those 3 timeouts. Still early yet, though. They've got the Colts are only down by 2 points. They've got the 2-minute warning and all 3 timeouts. But they need a stop on this drive.
You can see Rivers has not thrown a pick in over 100 attempts. It's 1st and 10. 2 tight ends. Melvin Gordon. He gets a block from his wide receiver Inman. And a flag? Nope, that was just yellow hands on the turf. It's an 8-yard gain, a burst over the left side, the block by the tackle Hairston, and he's up to the 47.
Wow, look how quick Melvin Gordon. He's on his path, and he's able to run right through that arm tackle. It was a good, strong run by Melvin Gordon.
He looked like the guy who normally wears number 28 does in this league, Adrian Peterson, who he trained with this past summer in Houston. He's a different back, isn't he, Rich?
He really is, Kevin. I think it really boils down to one thing. It's confidence.
2nd and long 2. Play clock at 2. Gordon again. Good tackle, C.O. Moore. The former Raider comes in. They throw him for a 1-yard loss, and a timeout has been taken. They go back to the 46. And it'll be 3rd down and 3. Chuck Pagano is 0-2 for a 3rd consecutive year with his Colts. And what'd you say earlier? A team that begins 0-3 has never made the playoffs.
Yeah, you look at over the last 10 seasons anyway, Kevin. 49 teams have started 0-3. Not a single one has made the playoffs
in the last 10 years. And here are some of the stories today. Luck with a couple of turnovers, a fumble and a pick. Rivers with just under 300 yards passing. And Gore with 78 yards on the ground.
And Kevin, most of those 78 yards on the ground from Frank Gore came early in this game. He's been kind of quiet in the second half.
We've had 3 second-half lead changes. Rivers took over at his own 18 with 6.5 to go.
Well, it's a huge 3rd down for the Colts defense. They have to find a way to get off the field.
Third and 3, McCluster is in. And across the middle, they can't get Benjamin because Davis, who just got back on the field, was covering. And covered like the Pro Bowler he is. It's 4th and 3. And here comes the punting unit for San Diego. The Colts have 2 timeouts, the Chargers 3.
What a terrific stop by the Colts, and Rivers just late getting back to Travis Benjamin. You think for a second maybe he felt like Benjamin was 6'4" and not 5'10". He's missed Travis Benjamin now a couple times on the crossing route versus man-to-man coverage.
Drew Kaiser to punt. And Quan Gray will circle under it with the catch at the 17-yard line. 36-yarder.
This is what you live for, Kevin, if you're a quarterback like Andrew Luck. You rehearse these situations all the time in practice. Just about every Friday you have a 2-minute drill. You've got 2:29. The situation in the game is you just need a field goal to get it done, and you've got a couple timeouts left. You can work in the middle of the field. There's ways to stop the clock. Just have to be smart. The thing that hurts you in a 2-minute drive are negative plays, and most importantly, the sack. It's not a bad thing to throw the ball away on early down.
Rookie free agent out of Illinois, Josh Ferguson in the backfield, 1st and 10 for Luck. He goes outside with the catch by Dorsett, the hit by Verrett, who is back in. Why they took him out before, we didn't know. We knew that he left with an injury, but there was no word given to us by the San Diego sideline. But back in, as you just saw. He picks up 3, 2nd down and 7. Luck again, hit as he throws, and he overshoots the receiver here.
Well, you're seeing a lot more 2-deep coverage now, Kevin. You mentioned Verrett back in. He's getting help from Dwight Lowry over the top. San Diego doing a good job defending the deep ball. John Pagano, you look at his call sheet. Not afraid to bring pressure in this situation. You saw him start this series with a 6-man pressure.
5 in the secondary. Ferguson in the backfield. 3rd and 7 for Luck. And he's got Ferguson. And a fumble on the play. If indeed he did catch the ball. Let's see if he... No, incomplete. Incomplete pass. As Perriman scoops it in on the bounce. Incomplete.
This is a terrific play by McCoyle. It's a form alert coverage. He comes down and makes the play on the back.
We have the 2-minute warning in Indianapolis on CBS. Well, when you're 0-2, and you got a 4th and 7 at your own 20-yard line, you got to go for it, Rich.
Well, you've got such a ways to go, and you just can't afford to give the ball back with just 2 timeouts left to Phillip Rivers and the Chargers. I think this is the right decision. It's the only decision in this situation.
Meeting the 27 left on the screws, and he's got his receiver Hilton. Flowers was there, 8-yard pickup on 4th and 7. They'll move the chains. The Colts with 2 timeouts, the Chargers with 3.
And what did John Pagano decide to do? He brought pressure, and Andrew Luck knew exactly where to go with the football.
Remember, San Diego missed.
The ruling on the previous play that the runner made the line to gain will be further reviewed.
And this comes from upstairs. There are no challenges inside 2 minutes. Remember, San Diego, Rich, missed the PAT earlier on.
Yeah, you're going to see the pressure. They do a nice job with T.Y. Hilton. That's been his go-to target in a critical situation. The question is, does he get far enough for the first down? And he's not down, even though he falls. He's not down until he's touched by Flowers.
I think he clearly has the first down.
Oh, yeah. It's a good look at it right there.
Yep.
He's got to get past the 32-yard line, or the 28-yard line.
Now, breather here for the Colts. Chargers defensively can reset.
In a critical situation, Kevin, I always say you think about players and not plays. Where you want to go with the football? To T.Y. Hilton.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. It's Indianapolis' ball, 1st and 10.
Yeah, they had to get to the 27-yard line. They got to the 28.
Here's Adam Vinatieri. He's kicked field goals today of 38 and 33.
And if you're the Chargers, you just have to assume that Vinatieri gets a chance, he's going to make it. He's that type of kicker.
They go underneath. It's caught by Josh Ferguson. He's brought down by Perriman with a catch and run. He picks up 9. A player is down. That's Flowers. The ball is up to the 37-yard line of the Colts.
And that's a break for the Colts. They'll get the clock stopped and chance to huddle up because of the injury to Brandon Flowers. Was a big hit.
San Diego, because of the injury, inside 2, is charged a timeout. So now they have 2. So the Chargers are down to 2, and you can see the helmet to hip.
Well, Josh Ferguson wasn't fooling around. He knew exactly what he was trying to do, split the 2 defenders. And you can see Brandon Flowers moving. That's a good sign.
Well, at every NFL stadium, there are well over 25 medical personnel from each sideline and then assigned to the league for situations like this. And the protocol used, but with both benches participating, has been immensely increased.
Yeah, one of the things that's new this year, Kevin, you look at number 1, when the potential concussion is identified, the players are being removed from the field. That allows the medical staff to get in there and to visit with the player and to do the evaluation without a number of other players coming around and checking on their teammates. You look at the Madden rule, if there's a suspicion of a concussion, the players escorted to the locker room. They've done a much better job really zeroing in and really doing everything they can to promote player safety. We talked about the number of rule changes. I think 42 rule changes in the last 10 years alone to promote player safety. And the big part of it is you know, taking the head out of the game, hits on defenseless players.
Now you take Flowers out of the game. They bring in Craig Mager to join the 5 in the secondary for San Diego.
Kevin, I lost a playoff game to Adam Vinatieri. I know what he's about, and if you're the Chargers and you allow him to even get the opportunity to get on the field, you're rolling the dice. got to find a way to get to Luck.
Second down and 1. Anderson remains in the backfield. Luck fires it inside. Oh, there goes T.Y. Hilton. It's a foot race. And there he goes. Touchdown. "63 yards and the lead."
And they've got to go for 2 now. They're up by 4. Boy, you know, Kevin, a good play caller is not afraid to go back to a play they just ran in the critical situation. Remember the third down? They ran this very same concept with T.Y. Hilton on the inside angle route. And look at the speed. Look at his ability to pull away from the safety, Adrian Phillips. Wow.
McCoyle could not make the tackle. And they're going for 2. What a play for T.Y. Hilton. His first touchdown reception of the season.
Again, they went after Jason Verrett. Kevin, you mentioned that he's been banged up here a little bit in the fourth quarter. The suddenness of T.Y. Hilton on an inside cut has been a real problem for the Chargers secondary.
Gore is in and trying for 2. And that is incomplete. Verrett was watching.
Now you can't fault him for trying to go after Verrett with T.Y. Hilton.
But how big is the missed extra point by San Diego? It would be a 3-point game. It's 4 points now. And you can do the math with 1:17 to go.
And I said, Kevin, in a critical situation, you've got to think of players and not plays. And the guy that you want to go to is T.Y. Hilton. He stutters Jason Verrett. Look at, stop, freeze it right there. He splits the 2 defenders right in the middle of the field. Now, this is a very difficult tackle for the safety. With that much space between yourself and T.Y. Hilton, that's just too much to ask from Adrian Phillips.
Dexter McCoyle, who is in the secondary, was the one who was trying to make the tackle and could not. But the missed extra point by San Diego, it looked like Cromartie, in fact, got a hand as he was diving in front of the extra point try. Big Now, tonight on CBS, begins with the season premiere of 60 Minutes and a report on the war against ISIS. Followed by the premiere event, NCIS Los Angeles, plus the new hit drama, MacGyver. It's tonight, only CBS.
Well, it's no time to exhale if you're the Colts. Look, Phillip Rivers, he's got a minute 17. Kevin, a couple timeouts as well. He's been in this situation before and delivered. Plenty of time for Rivers.
It's the McAfee kickoff. And McCluster lets it sail overhead to the 25, and 2 timeouts for San Diego. Let's go back earlier after a score and the missed extra point by Josh Lambo.
Really, the effort from Antonio Cromartie off the edge, that was the difference. He gets a piece of this. Look at the effort from the 11-year veteran. You talk about a critical play in the kicking game. That's the difference. I mean, we'd be talking about a 3-point game here. All San Diego would need is a field goal to tie it. Now they've got to go down there and score a touchdown.
Chargers are missing a ton of weapons. Woodhead out with a torn ACL. Gates is out, inactive today because of the hamstring. Keenan Allen is out with the torn ACL. Rivers at the controls, 1:17 to go, 2 timeouts. With a 1st and 10 on the cross. Tyrell Williams runs out of bounds. Run out of bounds, Devontae Davis. He takes it up to after a gain of 4, to the 29-yard line of San Diego.
I'm looking for the speed. You have to ask yourself, if you're the Colts, where's Travis Benjamin? We have to keep an eye on him. We can't allow him to get by us in the secondary.
2nd down and 6.
False start. Offense, number 86. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Rookie tight end, Hunter Henry.
You see Chuck Pagano right there. He's signaling to the defense, watch the screen. in this situation. They've done a nice job with the screen with Melvin Gordon.
Second down, 11. Rivers congested pocket. There's Henry. Knocked away. Gathers knocked it away. Colts have gotten the ball on the fumble. Mike Adams vacuums it in. And Gathers punched the ball away, stripping him and forcing the turnover.
Well, you're going to see, there's Hunter Henry. There's the rookie. He runs a nice route. He does everything right. He creates separation, but he doesn't do a good enough job securing the football. Frees it right there. Watch the punch. Watch the right arm of Gathers. He comes in there and punches it out. Hunter Henry never feels him from behind. Terrific effort by Gathers. Mike Adams, the veteran, right there for the easy scoop. You work on ball extraction every day in practice as a defensive player.
2 timeouts for San Diego. 2 turnovers apiece. It's Gore, who is tackled on the play by Emmanuel. And the game down to about the 43.
Well, you just feel sick. You're a young player.
And there's Gates.
You know, you just can never relax. You can never let up. Talk about the importance of ball security. That was a terrific effort, though, on the part of Clayton Gathers. To be able to, he gets beat, he rallies back to the football, and he's able to pop in that right arm and knock it out.
Chargers just used their second timeout, 1 remaining and 58 seconds to go. Gore remains. They've got 3 tight ends out there. It's Frank Gore into a pile, and Phylon, Mebane, and others make the stop after a gain of 2 in the final timeout used by San Diego. 54 seconds to play after the 2-yard gain to the 40. He was the Mackey Award winner at Arkansas. Actually, the Chargers had come into the game today +3. That was number 3 in the giveaway takeaway in the NFL, but they've turned it over twice. The Colts have turned it over twice.
That's tough, Kevin. You go on the road and playing a desperate team like the Colts. We mentioned 0-2 coming in, and you just never know. You think the turnovers, just critical. The missed extra point, which was significant in the game. And the effort by Antonio Cromartie to get a piece of the ball on the extra point. That was huge. That's a false start from the Colts.
6 it is.
Young players.
False start. Offense, number 84, 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Jack Doyle has had a lot of yellow thrown his way today. Just going over the Colts, 0-2 for a 3rd consecutive season. They were 0-2 last year. Then they won 3 straight, and they eventually came to within 1 game of a division title with 5 different quarterbacks. Remember, Luck only played 9 games, then was out with the lacerated kidney. In 14, they began 0-2, then won 5 straight and made the AFC Championship game. Coming 0-2 today. Here's a 3rd and 11. Gore. And trying to keep it alive and stopped at the line, and no gain on the play. Mebane. Remember, the Chargers lost a timeout because Flowers was injured, and inside 2 minutes, a timeout is automatically assessed for an injury.
Yeah, if you're the Colts, you just run this thing down, and then you burn one of your timeouts. And boy, terrific effort there. A couple huge plays, Kevin, by Andrew Luck to T.Y. Hilton, the 3rd down conversion, and of course the touchdown. Hasn't always been pretty for Andrew Luck today, but he hung in there. You look at the numbers, 24 of 37, 331 yards, and the big touchdown, the game winner to T.Y. Hilton.
They would have had about another 30 seconds if they weren't required to take the timeout with the injury on the field of Flowers.
How about the day T.Y. Hilton had, Kevin? Kind of quiet early, but then he finished with 8 catches for $174, including that 63-yard touchdown. He was a real difference maker in that matchup. He won the battle in the matchup against Jason Verrett.
There are no deep guys back for San Diego. The long snapper, Matt Overton, will be sending it to Pat McAfee.
The only thing they can do here is block it and return it. This ball is going to come out of the hands of Pat McAfee very quickly.
Gathers is the personal protector. It did. He pushes it. And the clock will tick all the way to zeros. The Chargers had a lead in Kansas City week 1, and they lost in overtime to the Chiefs. They had a lead here in the 4th, and they lose it to Andrew Luck, although now they are discussing on the field if there was, I see a conversation on the field with Ron Torbert, our referee. So let's just pause a second, put on the brakes. 4 lead changes in the second half. And the 63-yard touchdown completion to T.Y. Hilton may prove to be the game winner for Indianapolis as they notch their first win. But the conversation continues.
It almost looks as if the officials aren't on the same page, Kevin. So the line judge there talking to the referee about the situation in the game.
Well, we've got 7 guys on this crew who have worked the Super Bowl before, an experienced crew.
Must be a penalty on the Colts.
The ball was illegally touched by the kicking team during the down in which the clock went to 0. By rule, we extend the quarter for 1 untimed down. San Diego's ball, first down.
Wow, that's interesting. So San Diego will have it for an untimed down.
Now you got guys that you have to, who were halfway to the locker room, Kevin. You have to get them back on the field. And you give Phillip Rivers and this San Diego offense one more shot. In fact, maybe even more. If there's a defensive penalty, remember the game can't end on a defensive penalty. I think the play here, we did a game last week where the Raiders tried to throw the ball underneath to Amari Cooper and run around a lateral.
Have reported as ineligible. 34, 83, and 84 are ineligible.
I think the play here is to throw the ball to one of your bigger receivers, a guy like Tyrell Williams. Let him go up for it. Maybe you get something to pass interference. Maybe you get the ball around midfield and take another shot.
7 are back for the Colts. Untimed down.
This is where I go with it, right there, up top.
Rivers underneath, caught by Benjamin. And he's hit from behind with a nice hit right there by Eric Walden. Game is over. Colts have averted an 0-3 start and win it. Coming from behind in dramatic fashion with an Andrew Luck to T.Y. Hilton 63-yard touchdown pass. Both teams at 1-2. Some kind of game, Rich. 4 second-half lead changes. Tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, followed by NCISLA and MacGyver. Second time this season, the Chargers have blown a fourth-quarter lead. For Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan, so long from Indianapolis. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.